Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am TJ Jackson, and with me I have my brother Terrell.
What's up, everyone?
And my eldest brother Taj.
Hello.
Thank you, Taj, for leaning in. Terrell, what's going on there, man? Your mic should be closer.
No, I was just thinking about how you kind of jumped the gun there. You normally wait a little bit longer.
Do I?
Yeah, you normally do.
Really?
But maybe you're excited.
Yeah, I am excited. We're here live on the Power of Love radio show. And if you're listening to us right now, thanks for tuning in. Of course, you can reach out to us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @DDJ Foundation. And of course, you can call in. We're opening up phone calls today because I think we have a pretty solid topic. The phone number to call us is 323-203-0815, 323-203-0815. Terrell, do you want to do the disclaimer?
No, why do you ask me every single week?
You know, because I'm hoping one day you'll be like, yeah, here it is. But
No, not this time.
Okay.
It's not this week.
We are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. And we want to share our opinions and what we've learned in an attempt to help you overcome what you are going through. Saying that, if you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and to find it. Don't just rely on us. So what do we got going on today, fellas?
What's up? I missed the last show.
You were not here last show.
I was not, but I'm back.
You are back. How was your week, Terrell?
My week was good. I think since last time we've been here, I started baseball.
Okay, good.
I'm coaching both Bryce and Adrian.
Okay. Busy time.
We are the Angels.
Nice.
Both
Congratulations.
Teams. Yep. I'm excited. I think we got good teams.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna be. I think we have a shot to win it this year.
Taj Jackson, how was your week?
I don't remember actually my week. It's decent, TJ.
What do you mean you don't remember? You had 7 days.
Man, I've been in a bunker. You know, this world is going crazy right now. So I literally have been watching the news, looking up stuff, and I'm scared, man.
Yeah.
I really am scared.
You want me to stay a couple nights over your place? Or what?
No, it's just, I've never...
You're just concerned about where we're going
The
as
direction.
humanity.
It's not that there's a lot of ugliness that is now appropriate, or not appropriate, but
it's acceptable.
Acceptable, and I think that's what's scary, is more than, before it was looked down upon. Now people are coming out of the woodworks, saying this is what it is, and, so that's scary.
And I'm not a political person, but what does, and I don't want to get into politics on the show, it's not about that, but what does concern me is it seems like we're getting more separated and
divided. Yeah.
We're getting more divided as people, and that's never a good thing. It's always good to raise different points and different opinions and different views, but when it becomes like a core separation, that can get scary.
Yeah, there's a lot more hate out there.
Yeah.
Hate has become a lot more acceptable, but at the same time there's a lot more unity. It's just it's divided, as you said.
Yeah, it's like two big sections.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not going to do... That's another thing. You got to, both of you guys, watch out for my ums, and we're both going to watch out for his...
You knows.
But
that's been like forever.
Yeah, you missed it. Last show we were talking about that.
I saw someone say something about Taj saying,
it's not change, unfortunately.
Come on, man.
That's been since brotherhood days.
Yeah.
Well, Terrell,
yes.
We were talking right before we went on air about the New Edition show.
Yes.
You want to talk about that for a bit?
Well, we all grew up watching New Edition.
Yeah, it's big week for them.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of them. I watched all the episodes. Were you guys able to catch them?
No, I have them taped.
Really good.
Are they? I heard
really
they were
good. Really good. Yeah, and lots of information, lots of good things.
Beyond music,
and it just it was interesting. It's fun to watch different side of the guys. And I got to commend Ricky Bell, too, for opening up and sharing information about his personal life and situation. And that's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. All of them, really. It's not easy to do.
When you say personal information, what are you talking about? Because I
don't want to.
You don't want to spoil it?
No, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Okay.
It's just,
They're real person.
They opened up,
And I haven't seen it, and I don't know exactly or anything what you're referring to. But in my opinion, when you open up like that, it's very authentic, and it's a very brave and strong thing to do, and it always comes out usually pretty well. So I'm excited to watch it.
And it's nice because I know he's helping a lot of people.
Good.
And when you as you get older, you realize that that's success.
Should we be talking about it, or should we not ruin it for people?
No, I won't ruin it. I'll leave it alone. But very good. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Okay.
I've been watching. I watched the whole series. I've been watching interviews because they're doing a bunch of press.
Cool.
Are
they touring now again?
The cast. No, they're just doing like a promotional tour.
Okay.
But
well,
BBD, they came out with the new album, and they're
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Belle Biv DeVoe, 3 Stripes.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah. So
is it out?
It's good to. Yeah, it's out.
Cool.
I think it's. I just read it. I think it's number 2 R&B charts.
Nice.
So it's good to see them back.
Good. Those guys are solid, man.
They are, man. Professionals.
Taj, anything? I already asked you, but there's nothing. I gave you more time to think about.
No, but I'm looking at the Twitter right now, and which is at Dee Dee Jackson Foundation, and a lot of people want to know if we can. People that can't get through, can they tweet questions?
Absolutely,
of course,
absolutely.
That's why
we know the answer.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, tweet your questions.
We want to make this as open and as available to everyone, whether you're listening to us, and if you're in the car, however you're listening, you can call the number. Again, it's 323-203-0815. Or if you're listening on your computer, you can go to Twitter and tweet us, like Taj said, at DDJ Foundation, or Facebook. We have Dee Dee Jackson Foundation, and then Instagram. Taj, you want us to read the Instagram on our website?
Sure.
Get going?
The Instagram is at DEE Jackson Foundation, and the website is www.ddjf.org. And again, the Twitter to tweet us is at DDJ Foundation.
So the one thing I'm going to tell you about what I had a long week, a good week, very busy week. But the one thing I wanted to share, actually, I went to the movies, as I like to do. And I took.
Did you stay up this time?
I've been staying up lately.
Really?
I've been proud of myself. You know why I touched? Because when the new year started, I've been on my health and fitness kick.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that I've incorporated into my life was to sleep 7 hours at least.
Oh, wow.
So, and I've been staying true to that. So
that's great.
Yeah. So if I have an early morning, I go to bed early. I make sure that happens. So far I've been good this year. And I think I've been feeling a lot more energy and ability to do more things.
Do you feel you get more done?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I got a lot going on, and I got a lot planned, and I feel like I'm spread thin in a lot of ways, but I feel like every day I'm getting more and more done.
Uh-huh.
And I'm more energized, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's good.
The reason why I was telling you is because I took Dee Dee and a friend to go see A Dog's Purpose. And it was funny, though, because before we went and saw it, and I'm just going to address this, Taj, because we talked about it, Royal had talked Dee Dee out of seeing it because of
the controversy
that's surrounding it. I saw a very small
What's
snippet.
The controversy?
You don't even know, right?
Nope.
Taj, you want to talk about
I knew you were going to make me talk about it.
I might.
I want to incorporate you guys more.
There's a video that came out that it showed a dog that didn't want to get into the water, and it was scared to get into the water.
I think I heard about this.
And the handler was, I don't want to say mistreating it, but it looked like it was
being kind of forced
into going in the water, and it caused a lot of controversy, and people want to boycott the movie, and that's where we're at. But
so I had heard of it and saw a small snippet. I didn't watch I don't know how long the video, if it's a minute, but apparently then another, and I didn't know this until after the movie, but I heard another video came out where it was like showed the full picture, and that video kind of showed that wasn't really what happened. I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to try to say I'm taking one side, but I have enough experience in this world and with the power of media and how they can make things better or worse than things really are, So I didn't really let that sway me into not seeing the movie. I read
it was hard for me. I haven't seen the movie, but I want to see the movie. I have no tolerance for animal cruelty in general because I'm an animal lover, but at the same time, I love stories about animals. Like, I feel like, especially with movies, especially when it's a positive depiction of like a bond between animals. So it's really kind of, I'm on that fence where I'm like, I have to see this movie because the messages I heard was incredible.
And you know what? That's why I leaned on tweeting about it and giving it publicity and supporting the movie. I wasn't on set. I don't know exact handling, and I haven't seen the videos completely. But I'll tell you what, a lot of dogs are getting adopted.
Well, that's the thing.
Being a lot of, I wouldn't be surprised if thousands and thousands of dogs are finding homes now from this movie.
That's the thing, and that's where I think sometimes I understand boycotting certain things, but sometimes it does more damage than good. Yeah. Because if it's a positive message on screen, then it can do wonders. And Hollywood's all about money and all about making money. So if the movie doesn't make money, then they'll stop making those kind of movies, those heartfelt movies. And that's where I worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So just to give a recap of what we're talking about, it's a movie called A Dog's Purpose. It's about a devoted dog who discovers the meaning of its own existence through the lives of the humans it teaches to laugh and love. And the dog gets reincarnated multiple times through the course of 5 decades, which I think it starts in the 60s. And it's pretty cool. I got to give credit to the director and I guess the writer, but the way they did that was really cool. And, basically this dog who enters different types of dogs, it's the same dog, but his spirit travels through different dogs as his life goes out. And it's really cool because he's in the search of what's the meaning of it, what's the purpose of a dog. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to give away the ending, but it's really well written and it's really heart-wrenching. Dee Dee's friend, I think it's an hour and 45, 2-hour movie, was crying literally probably an hour and a half of it. And it wasn't like, it was really emotional, like loving cry. You know what I mean? It's touching. Dogs are amazing, and animals, I think.
Did it make you want to get a dog again?
Yes. Yeah, I tweeted that, and that's why I said I wouldn't be shocked if thousands and thousands of dogs now have own homes, and it's cool because I think it actually did more for pets than anything in my recent memory. Because if I did have a dog, I would love it more, and just give it more attention than because I'm a huge dog lover myself. But
interesting,
yeah. So I would recommend it. Again, I don't know exactly how bad this controversy was, but I've also heard it was way overblown. But I saw the film. I thought the film was really well written, really well directed, and I loved the message. And it's about love, so I would support it.
Yeah. No, I've heard both sides, and they're I guess the handlers that are known to do this for Hollywood. They've had other controversies in the past, so that's probably the problem. This was the 3 strikes you're out kind of rule.
Hopefully, it woke them up, and they'll start abiding, and maybe that's the whole purpose, is to. But at the same time,
I've still seen the movie though.
It's a good movie.
The movie. So let me ask you a question then, since you're looking into getting a dog, and Terrell, you've never had a pet, really?
Nope.
So.
I've had a couple pets, but not dogs.
Yeah,
I cannot remember a pet you've had.
He's like talking about
Sarah the rabbit.
This is my first time hearing.
I don't even remember Sarah.
Sarah the rabbit.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Red eyes.
I remember that.
Sarah. You don't remember Sarah?
You had
remember Sarah?
A newt?
I had a newt. Salamander newt.
What the heck is a newt?
A newt's like a lizard.
It's an amphibian.
Yeah, it's an amphibian.
I had it. Yeah.
Oh my!
Trust me, I didn't know what a newt was.
What else did I have?
Why don't I remember any of this?
You had a pet rock.
Nate the newt. What's a pet rock?
No, it wasn't Nate.
What's the dog?
I forgot the Nate. Sarah was the rabbit. I forgot the newt's name.
I don't remember any of this. So should we go into our topic then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we like to make each show different and stand alone on its own. And today's topic is the power of pets. And it worked out perfectly because every time we come into right before we do the show, we ask each other if anyone has great topics. And Terrell mentioned the power of pets. And it worked out perfect because I had just seen this movie, so we ran with it. And I think the topic today is pretty much the power of pets. The way I'm interpreting it is when I went through when I lost mom, Yabo, my dog, was a huge part of my recovery in my life, you know, and Taj, I would assume it's similar to you with Rascal.
Yes. Well, first of all, can we back up a little bit?
Please.
Let me have the ball a little bit.
Go ahead.
First of all, before we get into that, what is it that you love? Should I just do animals or dogs, or what is it as owners? Both of you guys had dogs growing up.
Yeah.
What is it that you love about dogs?
The dogs are just so cool. And I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person. Dogs are loyal. They chill. They like to hang around you. They like to just be connected to you. Not just physically, but it seems like dogs like to be connected to you emotionally and physically. If you're having a bad day or a bad moment, they can sense that and they can support you. They can really uplift you. If you're happy and excited, they're usually happy. They're like a kid before. You know, and it's great preparation, I really think, for having kids, is having a pet. But, Taj, why are you nodding? Like, I haven't seen that nod from you in a long time.
Because it can relate.
I relate.
So dogs give you that sense of, they're just great. They're very forgiving. They're very loving. They're awesome.
Okay, Taj, add on.
I think it's the unconditional love that a pet can give you in terms of... the support, as Tita said, when you're having a bad day, or if you need that just emotional support, there's nothing like a pet, really. I mean, when obviously kids and all that stuff, but I'm saying early on, there's nothing like a pet that really can lift your spirits up. And I don't know. For me, it's a no-brainer.
So there's like a special bond.
100%. For me, dogs are really the only pet I've really felt that with. I mean, I could, Prince has had everything, all snakes and lizards and ferrets and everything. So he probably gets that connection with all those. I don't think I could. For me, it's a dog. It's not a cat.
Yeah.
Some people, it's probably a cat.
A lot of people, it's cats.
So, but that's not me. That's not me.
Now my next question: can you go back to a time where you started to say like, "Hey, I like dogs," or were you born with that?
Always.
Really?
Yeah, always. I mean, just in general, just playing with dogs, always.
No fear ever?
Fear?
Yeah.
No.
I've gotten bitten by dogs before, and still, when I was young, and still had no fear.
You know what? Because there's some dogs that come to you that are... It's kind of like people. It's like if the dog, your first encounter with the dog is very festive, there's no fear. He's jumping around, he's licking on you. There's nothing to fear with that. But if a dog is growling at you or looks like don't touch it, then you don't touch it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there's dogs that may have, invoked fear in me upon its first meeting. But for the most part, all dogs are chill. For the most part. So I've never had an issue with dogs.
I know Taj was attacked by a dog growing up. And I wonder if that had an effect on me. Not that I dislike dogs or animals.
But you don't care to have
I've never I don't know, I think it's maybe like a thing that they can snap. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
I'm surprised he still likes dogs.
I love dogs. For me, dogs are just they could be your best friend, and that in itself is just, especially on topic with the whole show, when you're going through loss or grief, or you need that pick me up. That's where an animal, a pet could be priceless, really priceless. I know with, I don't know, I'm trying to think of, I had a connection with Rascal because it was the dog that Mom gave me, for my birthday. And so I really, when Rascal passed, it really was hard for me because in a way that was still a connection with Mom in terms of, I remember her giving it to me and giving me her and how proud she was, And so that was the thing for me. It was just, I took it really hard with Rascal, and that's why I still don't have a dog to this day, but I'm still contemplating it. But that was hard because Rascal literally died in my arms.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's like, she crumpled in my hand. And then we took it to the doctor, but she had a stroke. And it was one of those things where, and this is another thing, I'm not going to get in a rant, but sometimes the hospitals, they know they can get you in a way because they know you're financially they know they can get you, and so it was one of those things like we can save her, but it's going to cost X amount, but we can't guarantee that it's going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so you have to make that moral decision. And Rascal was just in so
She
much
was-
pain.
Yeah. And she couldn't see either. And
Yeah, she was. I always like to say Rascal was a mess because I think at age 2 she was blind.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Oh, hi, this is Tiffany again.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
Good. What do you got for us today?
I wanted to speak on the topic of the power of pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't have a pet now, but I had a pet growing up as a child. My mother gave me, I don't exactly know what type of terrier it was, but it looked exactly like Toto from The Wizard of Oz.
Good description.
And we called, I'm sorry, what?
I said great description.
Yes, thanks. And we called, his name was Scratch. And I got him when I was about 4 because at the time my father, he had actually had a stroke. So, he wasn't really getting around much. It was just my mother trying to look after him, look after me. I'm an only child. And, she just saw how it affected me and how concerned I was for my father, and got the dog for me as a distraction, basically. But that little dog was my shadow. He was my comfort. He was my little best friend. I would just sit out in the backyard and play with him and tell him everything. And Mr. Little Dog, I lost him in, how was I? I was 8 when he passed away. It was in 1994. But I still remember my dog. He was just the best dog in the world.
And you know what it is? Thanks for the phone call, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what it is too? I think it just, a dog will provide you with a lot of stability. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Dogs can provide a lot of stability, and it's what I think humans should be doing more of when they have a friend or a family member who's in need, but life gets in the way. For dogs, it doesn't get in the way. I think their lives are so simple. They just want a bone or some food and to sleep, So what else is on the agenda today? So I'll just chill and be there for my friend.
Yeah.
And it's like, we as humans, we don't get to do that because we are so, busy with life, that the dog constantly is there for you.
I have 2 Twitter things to say.
Yes.
The first is from Turia from France.
Yeah.
She says, true dogs are loyal, but they are also dependent in humans. So it's important to know that before adopting to avoid abandoning them.
To avoid?
Like abandoning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be very careful about, like, just adopting them, like, as
and dumping them.
Yeah, and dumping them, like, being
so make
on
sure
a
you're
whim.
ready.
Yeah, on a whim. Like,
Yep.
it's a
like, responsibility.
Yeah, it's a responsibility.
Good. Thank you.
And the second one was from, I don't know how to say it, Fista or Phi Stewart, I don't know. But it says, when I was 17, this is for all the cat lovers out here, by the way. When I was 17, a little cat unexpectedly came into our lives. That same year, she woke me up when my bedroom went on fire. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was an interesting...
There you
Wow.
go. I'm telling you, the animals are, they're
Pops
awesome.
has a cat, right?
Pops
Yeah.
has a cat that...
T-Bone or something?
Something like that. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if T-Bone was the first one, but he has a couple
cat.
He's had a couple cats.
And to bring it to even more DDJF centric, I really think for those of you parents or uncles, well, really parents, but if one of your children or someone is dealing with a serious loss, an immediate loss, I strongly recommend, provided you're prepared and can do it, to adopt an animal, and bring it into the family. Because I'm telling you, dogs in particular, only because that's my experience, but I'm going to say dogs, they can really make a huge positive impact on the road of recovery when you're dealing with any type of grief.
Yeah.
Even a divorce,
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with dog and go be together with the naming of it, of the style, the hairstyle, or whatever you want to do. It's a cool little thing. It's a cool little journey.
And also, you said adopting, which is great, but also, rescuing from shelters and stuff like that, because
That's not the same thing?
technically, I mean, you can buy a dog,
I didn't say buy a dog. I said adopt a dog.
Hey, you got to remember our audience here. It's a lot of foreign people here. So,
And
Okay.
that's kind of where I wanted to go with this, because there's two sides.
Yeah.
There is, like you said, if you experience loss, maybe having a pet to help you get through it.
Yes.
But then also, because when you do have a pet, they do become part of your family, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that I may have struggled with, and maybe this is why I've always stayed away from having a pet. Loss of a pet.
It's a whole
Like
nother
Todd
thing.
was saying, it's not easy to lose a pet, and it's loss. You're going through loss. I remember Happy, Chi-Chi. I mean, they all passed in different ways, but that was always
Something.
it's dealing with death so much, earlier maybe than
I think that's a good thing though, in a way, like, because it prepares you early in life that things, you'll lose things, and that's when I lost the first Happy. I've had two Happies, a rascal. When I lost the first Happy,
How old were you?
we've had a lot of animals.
yeah, we've had a lot of
12?
the first Happy was around Pettit time period.
No, yeah, before.
So how old were you when you lost the first Happy? 13, 14?
No, younger than that, probably 8 or 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
so that was Addison.
yeah, it was between Addison and Pettit. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
Those are street addresses, by the way, for our listeners.
I was gonna say we're over here. We're talking among ourselves, and yeah, that's good, TJ.
I know, Taj. I always have the listeners' first interest.
Those classes are paying off.
Yeah. So Happy was really young.
So yeah, Taj. So go on. So what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that
It prepares you.
It kind of
for
prepares
loss.
you for loss. I remember the second Happy when she passed, and I'll remember that. It was like, and for some reason we filmed it, but I was like, I was bawling. I was like a mess, and I was a lot older. I was probably 15 or 16 because Mom got me rascaled, and later on. But I was crying like a baby, and it was because of that bond that I had with the animal.
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
I agree with you, Taj. I think it prepares you well for life because you don't get everything forever in life, and there is loss. And animals' lifespans are a lot shorter than humans, so if you do get a pet, you're bound to experience. Your family's going to experience that jolt of losing it, and it's not easy though because
or parents having that conversation with their kids about loss and grief, and it forced Mom to talk to me about animals and about loss and stuff like that. And so we have a Twitter from Sequoia who says, "My school is actually training dogs to not only be service dogs, but also to help people with depression."
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of pet services, like I forgot the name. I think it's Horse Equine, that's for depression. Oh yeah, it's huge. So animals aren't just
and we're dog centric here, but like I know horses are a huge one, and cats as well.
All right, we're gonna take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, TJ. This is Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Yeah.
Hi, Alicia.
She didn't say hi to you.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Hey.
She met me.
I'm calling to talk on the power of pets.
Uh-huh.
My sister and I had several growing up. My mom started us off with fish, and then she had a cat, and I had a turtle, and hamsters. But the last pet that I had was a dog in high school who literally followed me home from school, which was an unbelievable story that my family didn't believe. But anyway, she stayed with us through my freshman year in college. About, I guess, a couple of months after I went up there, and there was an accident where she passed away. And I remember specifically with you, TJ, asking to borrow you both because
it hurt me so bad that she died when I wasn't at home, and there was nothing that I could do. And I knew that, you still would have Rascal with Taj. And I just remember bawling because like I said, I wasn't home, and it took my breath away, and I just wanted to thank you for that, because I don't think there would have been any way that I would have gotten through it without you guys. And remember also feeling so bad when Taj lost Rascal, because I'd already experienced that, and I wanted another one now, but I'm a little scared, and it's a lot. It's more difficult for me now because I probably need a service animal and wouldn't be able to walk it like I was my last pet. But they're definitely, like you said earlier, very comforting and loyal, and I too really want to see the movie A Dog's Purpose. So thanks for the review.
Yeah. Thanks for the phone call, Alicia.
Yes.
I love when she calls because you can hear the emotion and the passion. Every time she calls, I hear it. But I she's echo everything I believe is that pets are special and they can help you recover. And it is that hard time when they pass. And that's one reason why I haven't. Well, the main reason why I haven't is just because I haven't been able to settle in my life. But when I do, I will be getting a dog for my kids for that reason. Because I think Taj is right. You got to learn how to deal with loss. And
that's tough. That's like I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why I haven't attached or wanted to have a dog or any type of animal, because it is difficult. I remember having a moment with Happy before she passed, and it was just strange because growing up they would always stop at my door, and I just remember her walking slowly, and I told her she could come in, so she came in, and I just pet her a little bit, and I just felt like she was going soon.
This was with Happy?
Yes, this is with Happy, and I remember it like yesterday.
Wow.
I remember it like yesterday. I remember
dogs are smart, man.
I remember when Happy passed.
Yeah.
It was under Mom's bed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like even with Yabo, didn't Yabo run away or something?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
We don't know.
So it's like you felt like she ran away to pass away.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be around.
Yeah.
So you would have to see. It's just that whole thing is just hard for me.
And that's another thing, because in Yabo's case, Yabo was old. I think like 17, 18, and we were out of town for one of Lexi's tournaments, and the person who was watching our dog at our place, like, I don't know where she just disappeared. So I don't know if she got out, and for that reason, because it was very unlike Yabo to just disappear. So there's that unclosure too. But Yabo was getting to the point where she was struggling too. So I think it was more they don't want to hurt you.
Right.
Dogs are amazing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was that harder or easier for you?
Harder. I mean,
would you have rather Yabo pass away in?
No, I don't know, Terrell. I think it was easier, and I think most people would be harder.
Because you could almost write your own ending, or
yeah, maybe that's it. Or I don't have to see the struggle.
Yeah.
Because I think by nature I'm pretty an optimistic person, so I'm not thinking worst case scenario. I'm not thinking of any pain a pet has in the passing. So I'm thinking, he just went somewhere peacefully and laid down.
You keep saying he.
I know. I don't know.
Right?
It's a she, but
Happy's a he.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Terrell, for that, I would rather have been that way than to see Yabo struggle and wincing in pain. So
I don't know. I mean, eventually I will get a dog again. The last 2 dogs that have died that I've had, one, as you said, Rascal or Happy died under Mom's bed. I was the one that pulled Happy out, and it was, you guys were at a baseball game or something, or I think you guys were at a baseball game, a Dodger game or something. But I remember looking for Happy, and then I saw him under mom's bed, and I'm like, oh, there you are, and I pulled, and it was stiff,
Aww.
and so that was the
God, that's pretty traumatic.
It's very traumatic, but I think that I commend Mom for getting me Rascal soon after, because I think if enough time went by, I probably wouldn't have wanted a dog again. And there's something about Rascal that she was dependent. Like she was a mess when she first came. She was I think she was abused.
Did you guys get Rascal and Yabo around the same time?
Yeah, I think
TJ
right?
got
was a year
Yabo first.
Yes.
Yeah, you got Yabo first, but and then Rascal literally almost died in my arms. So
how old were you when you got Rascal?
I was probably 17 or 18.
Yeah,
because the senior year, I think it was.
Because I think I got Yabo at 12. And I think Mom actually got Yabo for me because of the divorce. I was struggling with the divorce.
Yeah. Yabo was great.
Yabo was...
Dogs are... I mean, Cheryl, I'm not going to try and sell you, but dogs are just... I mean...
You don't have to sell me.
But...
All right, we're going to take a phone call for international. Ooh, so who do we have on the line?
Yes, hello, it's Myra.
Hi, Myra. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm calling to let you know I also have... 2 dogs, 4 cats, and a horse.
Whoa.
A lot of animals. I grew up with animals because of my parents. And my son, when he lost my grandmother, I saw that he had a lot of help from the animals, because when he's feeling sad and down, then the cats were always coming to him, the dogs were always coming to him, and it helped him through a tough period.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and same with me, when I was younger, I was been through a lot of things when I was a child, and I always went to the horses, and at the moment I was working with the horses, I forgot everything. It was just my moment with them, and I noticed that they feel how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
It's like a mirror in front of you, like when they copy you or something like that.
Wow, that's a great point, and our guest from last week, Taylor said the same thing about horses, in terms of that's what helped her get through it.
Horses, huh?
Yeah, so.
Yes.
Myra, you're calling from Holland, correct?
Yes.
Are animals, because here in the States, animals play a big part, I think, of the American culture, maybe from movies or society. Are animals a really big, I should say pets, a big deal in Holland?
Yes. Yes, okay. I think, like, only where I live here, a small village, I think everyone has animals.
Great.
Really.
And what types of animals?
Sorry?
What types? Dogs, cats?
Dogs and cats.
Primarily dogs and cats.
Yeah, dogs and cats most. I think where I live, in the street, cats. We have a lot of cats.
Wow.
Especially in the summer, all cats walking around here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your call,
thank you for
Myra.
the call.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
So there you go. Even international.
Yes.
So I think it's dogs. Dogs are like a universal, like music. Mm-hmm. I keep saying dogs, but a good pet is a universal language. Yeah. And they don't speak English or Dutch or French or Chinese, but they speak love.
Yeah.
So I think they're a huge asset to a family, especially a family that can responsibly take care of it, and a family that is in need for more love and more support.
That's very interesting. And also I think pets also is an opportunity for young ones, hopefully not adults, because hopefully they're already responsible enough, but with children, it also gives them an opportunity to become more responsible. I know our chores, feeding the dogs, animals, cats, we had a lot.
Letting them out?
Yeah, letting them out, taking them for a walk, feeding them.
So my advice would be to not get a pet unless you're dealing with a serious grief of divorce or a passing. But I would not get a pet until your child's asking, and then utilize that time to make sure, like you said, Terrell, lay down rules. You're going to help do this, help do that, and they're going to say, okay, I promise, promise, and utilize it, because it does also teach you responsibility. So I agree with you.
We have another Twitter.
Yes.
From Isabel.
Todd, I appreciate you on the Twitter again.
Hey, I'm on it.
Is this Isabel?
Yes, it is Isabel.
Hello, Isabel.
Who's Isabel?
Isabel.
I think it's Isabel. I got to look at the tweet again. I just wrote down the tweet, so.
Okay.
All right.
Remember, pets make you feel very loved and special. I used to think mine was the only creature who'd choose me over everyone else. And I think that's a very important point, because you do feel that bond with your pet. Like, I don't want to say loyal, but there's a loyalty.
They have
to
your
it.
back.
They have your back, and you do have that special connection that a lot of people say, I lost my best friend. I am doing research over here. I was on the computer and typed in pet loss and stuff, and best friend comes up constantly on tweets. Like, I lost my best friend when they talk about their pet.
Huh?
Yeah. And it's like that bond. It's like, it's gone.
Is the bond the
and
same
these are
with cats?
I don't want to.
Cats. But
I'm gonna not comment on that. But
cats are fickle.
We sound like cat haters here.
I know.
I'm not a
Papa
cat.
T should be here
cat.
to defend. And we've had cats. I had Mo.
We had Thriller. Mo.
Yeah, we had Mo, Larry.
Mo was the gray one with the black. I forgot about
We had
Mo.
Mo and Larry that were cats.
Thriller.
Thriller. Yes. So
CJ,
we've had
do you
our cats.
remember Thriller?
Not at all. I don't remember any.
Thriller was a black cat with the yellow eyes, with the yellow and black eyes.
Yeah, we had Thriller.
I don't remember.
That's why she was
any of
called
them.
Thriller.
Maybe the cat I remember, but definitely not the name.
I remember Mo.
Larry?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Spanky.
Spanky's the dog.
Yeah, Lady J the monkey.
Yeah.
That's and
Chi Chi.
We've had a
Trouble,
monkey.
Mr.
Yes.
T. We had 2 German Shepherds. We had a lot of animals.
I love animals. I think that
We had 2 parrots too, right?
you have to. I don't know. I want to say you should have animals in your life, because it's like
you're missing part.
You're missing part of your life if you don't have animals. Like, I'm just thinking about, if we didn't have animals in our life, we'd be totally different people.
So Todd, so you would agree with this quote by Roger Karras?
Mm-hmm.
It's online, so it's not from someone listening.
I know it's not coming off the top of your brain.
It's not coming from the top of my head, but it's a very good quote that just pretty much outlines what you said. Here it is. Dogs are not our whole life, but they make our lives whole.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think Taj, that's the point that Taj couldn't really say. He couldn't articulate, but I helped him out. All right, we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Hello?
Hello, you're on the line.
Who did I call?
Yeah, who's this? Hello?
This is what?
Who is this?
This is Julie. I was trying to call the radio station.
Julie, you're online.
You're on the air.
You're on the air with us right now.
Okay.
This is Todd
I have a question.
What's going on?
How do you help a child that is grieving from a different loss that their mother is in jail?
Good question. So again, to preface, we're not therapists, so don't take what we say and run with it and, hold us to it.
Our opinions.
How do you deal with a child who's grieving from a mother being in jail? Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. I'm the grandmother, and I'm raising, 3 children. I've got a month-old and a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. And we really don't have anything in Arkansas that helps with the grieving process. You just either get over it, or you're told how long you're supposed to grieve, or it's like
one more time. The ages. I'm sorry.
The what?
The ages of the kids. One more time.
The 1-month-old. Well, she doesn't really grieve, but the 6-year-old and the 9-year-old.
Okay, and then how long is mom in jail for?
She's been in jail for 30 days, but she's going to be locked up for 20 years.
Oh. Okay. So my advice would be a pet. I really think, because the children are going to, and I could tell you're going to be there to give them love and help them and guide them, but they're gonna have an emptiness in their heart. And there's nothing, and you're gonna have to be prepared for that. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do. You may get thank yous, you may not, but you got to do this all from love. And there's gonna be a void in their heart that I don't think it's gonna be very hard for them to fulfill. And I don't know if it'll ever get fulfilled, because mom's not gonna be there.
Because I go to bed crying every night once I get them in bed.
I can understand that, and it's not going to. It's not going to be easy.
47, and it's like I'm starting all over. It's been a very long time since I've changed diapers and had burp everywhere.
Oh man.
You know what? You know what too, Julie. You got to take time for yourself every now and then, because
I don't even know what that is.
I know, I could tell, but you got to somehow find it. Whenever that time is right, you got to keep that in the focus, because you're not going to really be able to help them unless you're the strongest and the best you can be. You know, and they need that. So you can't forget about yourself in this whole thing. I think you got to get a pet.
Well, like the 6-year-old, I had to go to school today. Normally they're straight A students, but the 6-year-old is acting out in school and has an F in reading, which that never happens. So I don't know, should I punish her? I really don't know. The school didn't know either.
I think that's an opportunity to talk with her. If it's abnormal and out of her character, it's a sign to me that she's struggling accepting everything.
No, and we are not listening to Nicki Minaj. I'm on the phone. Bye. Oh, my God.
I think you just got to find those simple life moments of bonding, and you got to... And I don't want to even say the word, so I'm not, but you got to provide your own bond, a new loving bond with them.
Okay.
And you got to be there. Never down talk their mom, never badmouth them, no matter how frustrating you are. Don't ever say this or that about her, because that will be a statement that you will regret and they'll live with forever. So never badmouth their mom, no matter how upset you may be at her, or how frustrated the kids make you. But my biggest advice is to create memories and create bonds, whether it's going to fish, whether it's just taking walks, whether it's bike riding, teaching them how to bike ride. Create new wonderful moments and give them an opportunity to talk. And to close, I really think pets are what, because there may be things they want to get off their chest that they're not comfortable saying to a human. And they don't want a response back. And this is where I feel pets can really help.
Also, it's talking to them too. As you said, you're in a place where they tell you the time you're supposed to grieve and all that. I think talking to them, letting them know it's okay what you're feeling, and I feel it too, and not making it so this is what you have to do, because as we have always been saying, there's so many different ways that you can handle it, and not everyone grieves the same way. So just having that open discussion with them and letting them know that it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to, and I understand that you're getting bad grades now. You know, this is not what your mom would want, or this is not what, you're an A student, and but I understand that you're grieving at the same time. But it's a hard situation, but at the same time. Yeah.
Julie, every now and then we have therapists on air with us as our guests. Please keep listening and call back in with...
I try, but our time differences sometimes. Yeah. Like, I barely caught you now.
Where are you calling from?
Like, I'm 3 hours ahead.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we're up against the time for today's show. We have to get off in 2 minutes, but I commend you for what you're doing. I thank you for sharing your phone call, calling in and sharing your story, and just know you're in our prayers, and stay strong and stay loving, and I commend you.
Yeah, I commend you too.
Thank you.
All right.
Lots of prayers.
Stay strong, Julie. You got to be strong for them, so you got to stay strong, honey. All right.
Yes, you can, but no Nicki Minaj. No,
no Nicki Minaj. I like that. Take care, Julie, and smile, and remember about yourself.
Yes.
Wow.
That's tough.
And it goes back to, why we're doing this show, bring awareness to these types of situations.
Yeah.
And this is where you need your family and your friends to come in and support you as well.
Yeah, and exactly, Terrell, because it's community and support is what will help anyone get through any tough situation. And I've even noticed that with our Dee Dee Jackson Foundation at the Twitter, that when someone calls with a tough story, it seems like every day there's someone going through something serious. the community really rallies behind and supports, and it helps.
Everyone that shares their story, it's like there's a community there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be you that's going through it. You can know somebody and be there for them. Yeah,
Sweet.
It's important.
All right. Is there anything else you guys got for today before we close?
That's good.
No.
That's it, right?
That's
So
it.
we'll be here next Wednesday from 1 to 2 Pacific Standard Time, and thank you for listening in. And always remember, love, support, and go get a pet, right?
Yeah.
Go get a pet. All right, you guys. See you later.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am TJ Jackson, and with me I have Terrell Jackson, my middle brother.
What's up, everybody?
I have Taj Jackson.
Hello.
And we have a special co-host today. She's making a face, wincing because I said special. But we have Kim Wendt, who is on our board, on the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation board, and she's going to join us today. Kim's an awesome person, and we felt, especially with Valentine's Day coming up, this is the last show before Valentine's Day, we needed a female voice, a strong female opinion. So she's here. We are live on the Power of Love radio show, so if you're listening to us, thank you so much for joining us. And later on the show, we're going to open them up pretty much now, but we're not going to answer any phone calls till later, till you guys know the topic. The phone number, if you want to call us, is 323-203-0815. Again, it's 323-203-0815. And before we get into our topics, I like to check in on everyone to see how everyone's prior week was. So who wants to go first?
Real quick as well, Twitter handle is
At DDJ Foundation.
DDJ
so you
Foundation.
can ask us questions
Via Twitter
about our topic.
Yes.
If you're too shy to
well.
call in, you can always tweet us.
But don't be shy.
Terrell, Taj, Kim, how was your weeks? Your week?
Busy, up and down.
Up and down?
Up and down.
Anything exciting?
May have a job offer.
Nice.
So
Right.
that is welcomed after 4 months of not working.
Searching.
Searching, that's right.
Searching. Taj, Terrell?
Well, it's impossible to ignore the Super Bowl.
It was a great game.
That was an entertaining game.
Very
Really
entertaining.
Good. Really good.
Very entertaining.
Great example of why you never give up,
Mhm.
never quit.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think the Falcons blew the game.
Absolutely.
They should have won that
Sadly.
game. But at the same time, you can't take anything away from the Patriots because they if you look at Tom Brady in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, he's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to tell what quarter he's in.
Mhm.
So he never gave up. The team never gave up. And the results, they won. Super Bowl champs.
So a quick lesson on that. No matter what you're facing, it reminds me of, I'm not going to, I'll say it. I'll say one of my favorite basketball players is
I
Tim
thought you were gonna
Duncan.
say me.
No.
Why wouldn't you say that?
Because I don't want to commit to saying he's my favorite when he's definitely one of my favorites. I was going to say my favorite.
Oh, okay.
But his composure and his ability through tough times, through uncertain times, to stay focused, stay confident, and to stay...
They're champions. That's
champions.
what they do.
That's what
They've
champions
been there.
do.
That's why when the score was what was that, at one point 28-3, I still knew it was going to be a tight game because they just keep coming for you. And I told my friends that I was watching it with, they thought it was over. I was like, it's not over.
Right.
They got to keep scoring. They got to do something. And sure enough.
So listeners.
I've got a question for Terrell.
Yes.
What was better, the game or the halftime show?
I actually like both. I thought Lady Gaga did a great job. And the game was entertaining. It seemed like a blowout. It seemed like it was going to be a one team thing. And then the Patriots came back and made it exciting. It was exciting. It always is with the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think the last few times they've been in the Super Bowl, it's always come down to the last play.
Mm-hmm.
So
I laugh because as a girl, I pay more attention to the halftime show.
I
than
think
the game.
most women do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably.
And all of our listeners internationally, I would agree, because they don't really have American football. So you're not alone. Taj, what was your week like?
I don't know.
Did you
honestly.
even watch the Super Bowl?
I watched half of the Super Bowl. I had to go to a dinner, so
Okay.
prior commitment.
Taj, who had a dinner during the Super Bowl?
It was a graduation. My neighbor had,
culinary school, right?
Okay.
What's it called?
Culinary?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
that graduation. So, but you know me, I don't watch football anyway.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because Cheryl, like you, when they were up, I was like, don't count them out. Don't count the Patriots out.
Yeah.
You know, I just knew it. And so, because I was quick, you notice I didn't tweet anything because I was going to tweet, then I was like, you know what? Don't count them out. And I was happy that I didn't tweet anything about Atlanta because, I think they blew it.
It was a great game.
I watched it. I was one of those that was refreshing my screen on Twitter.
Oh, okay. To find out.
I got the news through Twitter, so I just saw the score keep creeping up. So it was really annoying.
Well, for our listeners, I think it's a good lesson.
It's a great lesson.
To never
Real quick,
give up,
it's
and no
life.
matter what you're going through.
I know
to
we
never
have
give
our
up.
topics for today,
Mhm.
but since it is a loss, some type of loss,
Mhm.
how do you rebound from a loss like that if you're Atlanta Falcons? Because that's gotta hurt. You're up 28-3. I think you were up 28-9 in the fourth quarter with 13 minutes left, right?
Well,
how do you
the
that's gotta
probability?
sting
This
for
is
a
the
long
biggest
time.
game of their career. This is what them as kids dreamt about. So to equate it for the international listeners, it's probably the World Cup for soccer players, for football players, your football players.
And you're probably about 8 minutes away.
You're
with
winning
a 3-1.
No, you're winning 4-1, and
Even
you
more,
end up
4-1.
losing the game
with 8 minutes left to play.
Yes,
probably.
with not much time, you still end up losing. That's probably because the probability of them winning at one point was 98 or 90. Was it 99? 98%. They were supposed to win. So that is. I don't know how you get over that heartbreak. I think you got to just maybe take a couple days to live with it, and then you got to move on and get to another one.
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about statistics now. I mean,
Taj, they should not have lost that game.
No, but I've heard a lot of statistics over the years, and the probability of this and that, and they've all been wrong. So.
So I guess we're gonna have a variety of topics. I guess that will be one. I'm gonna add that one because that's a very good topic. How do you get over a crazy upset or a crazy for sure thing that was supposed to be yours?
It happens all the time.
And it happens all the time in sports, but it also happens in life. You're supposed to get this job, you're supposed to get whatever, and something happens miraculously and you don't get it. How do you rebound from it? There's topic one.
What about momentum? And how does that play into it?
Momentum is huge.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Momentum
That's
is huge.
a good one.
The other topic we're going to do is turning loss into love. So it's very similar. Basically turning a tragic or a bad, quote
It's
unquote
almost
bad.
a negative to a positive.
A negative. How do you do that? And again, it could be about from a sports game to the loss of a loved one to the loss of a job to anything. How do you make it mean something? And then the third topic, since it's Valentine's Day,
Dr. Love.
Dr. I don't have Todd. You want to say Dr. Love? You want to say the words Dr. Love?
I'll be the Dr. Love.
Gosh, didn't you used to call yourself Dr. Love?
I didn't want to say that, but
he
yes.
did.
He did?
Yeah, you
I
don't
was
remember
Dr.
that?
Love.
He was Dr.
Friends
Love.
used to call me for advice.
Me
all
too.
the
You
time.
and me, Louie,
And I'm still single.
and
What
Drew
about
and
that?
everybody. He used to call Todd.
Really?
I don't know why we would go to him
Why
for
you?
advice. I don't know.
Because I had good advice.
I don't
Really,
know.
Tosh?
Yeah. Repeat customers.
Repeat customer. So Todd, I guess Dr. Love over there. If you have any questions about love, I guess my eldest brother Todd is an expert. Never knew that. So that's another topic though.
licensed therapist,
With
but,
Valentine's Day coming.
Oh, the disclaimer, you forgot
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm
not going to do that.
The Valentine's. We got a third topic on Valentine's Day. It's pretty much how, Valentine's Day, at least in the States, I don't know if it's everywhere, it's very celebrated as a romantic or a loving day for you and a spouse, or you and a girlfriend, or you and a boyfriend, a significant other. But what happens if you just dealt with a horrible breakup, loss? What do you do? How do you not make that day a disastrous day? How do you reclaim that day? So this is for those single people out there that are going through a heartbreak. Kim, why are you smiling and laughing at me?
Well, I'm just laughing because my single girls used to call it a Hallmark hell holiday.
Triple H.
Yeah. Triple H.
Okay. So I'm not going to repeat that, but the terrible holiday that's coming up if you're single or just went through a tough breakup, we're going to try to give you some advice on how to not make it a wasted day or not make it a sad day. And if you want to call in, if you have experience with this, please share your thoughts. Okay, those are our three topics. Right. You can call us in at 323-203-0815, 323-203-0815. Now, the main topic we were going to talk about is basically turning loss into love. How do you make something a tragic event and turn it into a positive? Kim, we were talking right before the show, and we were going over notes, and you had some incredible quotes from some incredible, actually, African Americans. It is Black History Month. I had to throw that in. So do you want to share with our listeners maybe some of those quotes?
Sure. So Oprah's always been a favorite of mine, and one of the quotes I have in my bedroom is that life is a classroom, and every experience that we have is meant to teach us something about ourselves. So I researched where that quote came from and learned that Oprah gave a graduation speech at Stanford University. And I didn't realize, but Stanford University came into fruition from the loss of a child. And the more I read about it, Mr. and Mrs. Stanford, after losing their child, that, as I understand it, is what inspired them with Stanford. And so at Oprah's speech, she talked about if you're hurting, you need to help someone else with their hurt. If you're in pain, help someone else's pain. And when you're in a mess, get yourself out of the mess, helping somebody out of their mess. And in the process, you become a member of what I call the greatest fellowship of all, the sorority of compassion and the fraternity of service. So I think that really speaks to what we try to do at DDJF with turning loss into love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're going to take a quick phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Miss Deidre Williams.
How are you, Deidre?
I'm doing good.
Good. What do you got for us?
I had a question for Dr. Love.
I love it.
Brother.
How do you get over somebody that you know for a fact do not want to date you? Like, how do you cope with that and get over it?
That's
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
Kim wants to chime in too. That for me, in my early years in high school, I had a lot of crushes that I was always the best friend, that the friend zone kind of guy. That was me.
You were the safe spot.
I was the safe spot. So I had a lot of friends that I liked, more than friends, but I was always kept in that friend zone. So I had to force myself basically to just move on. And it's not easy at all. But at the same time, you have to realize that the more you focus on someone that doesn't want you, I think with women, you think you can change someone, and I think that's always been the downfall. It's like, oh well, he's not perfect, but I can change him to who I want him to be. And guys are like, I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it in the way that it sounds. But guys are like dogs. They're very simple. They don't change. To what
drastically.
They don't change drastically, and it's not a permanent change. If it is a change, it's something that they might change for a little while, but then they'll go back to their ways. And so you just have to really see who is what they really are ahead of time, and not think, oh, I'm going to change them to this or that, because that you have to like them for who they are. They're not going to change.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, you can't force somebody to knock you back.
No, you definitely can. And at the same time, you're giving all that energy to that person, and someone else might be the perfect person for you, and you're not even looking in that direction
because you're. Yeah. Kim wants to chime in.
I'm like chomping at the bits here. So just from a female perspective, I couldn't agree with Taj more. Like, trying to change anyone, Dr. Love. I'm sorry about that. Trying to change anyone is really hard. And you do go through that loss. Like, what did I do wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But, it's an opportunity to learn, like, what were the good parts of that person, what worked really well, and an opportunity to love yourself, because just because that person didn't love you in the way you need it to or want it to, if you focus on loving yourself and really trusting in that process that this just wasn't the right one. And the faster you do that, I think the more prepared you are to go out and meet the right one, like Taj was saying, because I feel like the longer we stay stuck in that place, we're holding ourselves back from what might be meant to be.
I love that.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Kim, that's a great point, because I think when you give you're giving energy, and where do you want to give that energy? Do you want to give it to someone else, or do you want to give it to yourself? And by giving it to yourself, you're making yourself better, and that's exactly what you said, is putting that energy into yourself, because then you become more quote unquote attractive to other people, whether that's confidence or whether that's happiness or whatever. That is, you're putting that into, you're investing in yourself
and giving back to others.
Mm-hmm. Deirdre, thank you so much for the phone call and the question. Awesome.
All right, bye guys.
Take care.
Alrighty.
I love that. I love the question. I don't know if I love you being Dr. Love, but I can't believe what I'm saying.
I'm coming out of retirement, I guess. It's been a good 20 years.
Hey, I'm your backup.
Yes.
No, but I agree with both of your advice. I think it's spot on, and I love how we're talking about this stuff, because it is Valentine's Day, and I think it gives us an excuse to talk about relationships in that way. And we take another phone call. Let's see. Who do we have on the phone? Hello? Did I mess something up?
Probably.
I don't know why I even asked that, but yeah, call us back if I by accidentally hung up on you. And they are. So here we go. Who do we have on the line?
Hello?
They are jamming. Who is this?
Hello?
Hello?
Is this Taj?
You have all three of us. Can you turn down whatever you're listening to?
Oh, wait a minute. I got you. Wait a minute. Hi, my name is Sheila Jones.
How are you?
Carol should know me because I'll be on Instagram. I'm the one. Carol, I'm the one that said you said sorry. Who has the name Sheila Jones and Sheila?
That's it. I'm sorry.
On Instagram, remember I said you got jokes. I was the one that said you said sorry. Who has a name? How many Instagram accounts do you have? And who has a name and Joey Sheila? You remember that one?
I don't know.
It's also hard to hear you because it's really loud where you are.
I said, my name's Sheila Jones. I am the one. Carol should remember me from Instagram. I was the one. He said sorry because he said, how many Instagram accounts does you have? And he said, who has a name and Joey Sheila?
Oh,
got it.
Okay. Well, what's your question for today's show?
About Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
About love. This is my part. I've been with my kid's father for almost 50 years. Okay, he had cheated on me, had a baby on me, and it's just I don't know where love. I don't even know how to put love in my life. But see, I gave my all to this man, and it's just like I never cheated on him, never did nothing wrong to him, but it's just like, why would somebody do this to me when I gave my all? I gave him 4 kids. And this man took me since I had my first child when I was 15, and his father died when he was a baby, so he's been in his life since then. But I gave this man my all, and everything that I do for this man, I did everything for this man. I tell him I love him, but he don't tell me he love me back. But it's just like, where is love at in my life? I don't know. So, I'm 58 now. I don't know.
Are you still with him?
No.
No?
He lives with the girl that he had the baby by, and he still lied about it. But I do not like liars and cheaters, so I just had to get rid of that negativity and pick up some positivity, because I'm not dealing with that.
I agree. Yeah, that's 100% right. And how are you feeling, though? How are you doing?
Well, see, it's like, you've been with somebody that long, and you get rid of them, and it's just like, it's like grief. It takes a toll on me, because now it's Valentine's Day. My grandmother was born on Valentine's Day, so she died at 104.
Wow.
So being that's like grief too, about being with somebody that long and then you had to let it go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm learning how to deal with it. I'm telling you how I deal with it. I just throw my life in with my grandkids and my kids, and I just let it like, if this is where God want my life to be, I would just leave the love alone and just work on me first. Then I worry about,
I think you're right on, and my take. I'm not Dr. Love, and I'm not Kim, but I'm going to chime in. I think that's the exact right thing to do, is to focus on your kids, but don't forget yourself too. That would be my advice. Don't forget about yourself. There's someone out there for you, and to not carry on to that negative energy and any negativity, because that's not going to attract who you're supposed to be with. So stay positive and keep your focus on yourself and your kids. Taj, I'm sorry. I said Taj.
Yeah. No, it's
I should have said Mr. Love.
It's Dr. Love on this relationship. This is more, in terms of, Kim, you wrote down something which I really liked. Go ahead, say it, and then.
Well, I kind of left. There's that old song, "Looking for Love," and the line in the song is "Looking for love in all the wrong places." And I think when you get
in a country song, right?
It sure is. That's my favorite.
Which one is that?
"Looking for love
in all the
wrong places."
Who sings that?
I know Eddie Murphy.
It's from Urban Cowboy. Johnny Lee.
Okay,
Johnny
cool.
Lee.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, anyway, coming off a bad relationship, just looking for love in everyday life. At least that's what's helped me. The love with your kids, love through animals, love of nature, just looking all around you, because love is there. It may not have been in that relationship, but we can either look for the positives or the negatives. And for me personally, getting over heartbreak, that's helped.
Definitely. And I also think that it's habit. I think that's what when you say loss of a relationship, it's loss of having someone around, the habit of having them around. But that doesn't necessarily mean, with all habits, there's good habits and bad habits. And I think if it was something more negative, then it's a bad habit, and you want to get rid of bad habits, but it's not easy. So you're doing it right by focusing on other things and giving that love elsewhere where it will be reciprocated.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sheila, thank you so much for your phone call.
Hang in there.
And take care of those babies.
They're, you want to know how old they are? They're probably, a couple of them is your kids' age, Tara. TJ.
We're still babies.
And Tara, I know you ain't no baby. Taj, I know you ain't no father yet. They're coming. Yet. You better do it. Yeah. The kids are very special.
That's right.
You just gotta look. All my kids are grown. My baby boy's in the Army.
Oh wow.
He's been in there. He made a career out of it. So he'll be retiring. He's in Las Vegas now. He'll be retiring this year.
Wow.
So he's been in there forever.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and take care of yourself. Okay. That was I liked her. She had a great personality.
Yeah. Real life example.
A real life example. Kim, was there something else you wanted to talk about in regards?
Well, just going back to what we talked about with Oprah and kind of learning the lesson of losing. In that speech, she quoted Dr. Martin Luther King, and I thought it also tied back to DDJF, because he said not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. And I mean, it kind of made me giggle as I sit here with you all, because clearly I am not the famous one in the room, but we all have
the potential.
The potential, and we all have a common goal. And the end of the quote is, you only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. So it doesn't really matter who you are, whether you're part of the Jackson family or part of my family. Everyone can make a difference through the power of love.
Love it.
I really love that. Yeah. I think that's so important too, because we do live in a society right now where we value fame more than we value love, and it's backwards. And we put people on pedestals, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
But it's so backwards right now, and we're kind of reaping what we sow right now. And it's scary, but I think there's also that movement that people are starting to see, that we have to stick together and love each other. So there's a counterbalance happening, but it's true. Like, people that are doing great things service-wise and for their community or for the world, those are the people that should be celebrated.
Love it. Okay, so Taj, your computer's not open, so how are you checking our Twitter line?
It's my phone.
Your phone? Okay, have you been checking? Or has Dr. Love been the focus?
Well, I can't focus on both.
It's a hard job.
You want me to Dr. Love or the Twitter guy?
Well, we've had 2 great phone calls on love topic. Our phone number is 323-203-0815. We have 3 topics. How do you rebound from a devastating loss, such as the Falcons? How are they supposed to rebound after losing the biggest game of their lives? The second one, which is very similar, but turning loss into love. And the third one is for Valentine's Day. If you're single or you're dealing with a loss of a loved one, whether it's relationship or through tragedies such as death, how do you rebound and not make it a terrible day? Who do we have on the phone line today?
This is Maisha.
Maisha, how are you?
Hi, Maisha.
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Maisha, is this your first time calling?
No.
No.
I called before, and I was talking about the pastor and his daughter who had died.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, it's great to hear your voice.
I can't call that often because I'm usually in the OR.
No, I love
usually
your
taking
voice.
care of patients.
Good for you. Thank you. And real quick before we get into your question, there is J.R. Smith. Terrell, you know who J.R. Smith is. He's a basketball player. He just gave birth. His wife gave birth. Do you know where I'm going? Or no?
I know a little bit
about
the story, yes.
So his wife just gave birth, and they had a premature child, I think 5 months early, and the baby was born just 1 pound.
Oh, wow.
And it's for those who don't follow sports, J.R. Smith he's perceived as a real fun, kind of crazy guy, kind of I don't want to say out there, but just the guy that's you don't take seriously.
He was the one partying when they won the championship with the shirt off.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's that guy.
That's him.
But he just basically said this experience has completely grounded him, and he realizes even though he's a huge basketball star, he's not the hero. He's not the star. It's those nurses and the doctors that that are doing everything they can to save his baby. And I just thought when you said you're in the medical field, I just thought about that and just want to give a DDJF thank you to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's the truth. You guys are the heroes, so thank you. What is your question, Maisha, or your topic?
I just wanted to talk about. I know you guys are talking about love and Valentine's Day and stuff, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to change the direction a little bit. I just wanted to talk about momentum and keeping your momentum when you experience loss or a setback.
Love it.
So I am a nurse, and I've been a nurse for about 10 years. And when I graduated from nursing school, I always wanted to go into the OR. And I tried to pursue the OR, and I got a lot of doors slammed in my face, and people were not too nice about it. And I just kept pursuing it because that's what I wanted to do. And I'm just that type of determined type of person, and I don't accept no for an answer. So there's a a saying that the squeaky wheel always gets the oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept calling different places and saying, you know, I'd like to work in your OR, but I have to be trained. I wasn't trained as an OR nurse. You have to be trained first. And the organization that I work for, they didn't have a program at the time. And I kept being told by people, oh, you'll have to go to another organization. I just kept being redirected in different directions. But in any event, my organization finally did develop a program, and according to the program, you had to be hired by a surgical center or hospital in order to get into the program. So I continued to pursue, and I finally got accepted for a job and got into the program.
Wow.
And what happened with it is that through the program, they paid for my tuition. The place that I worked for paid for my tuition. They also paid my income and paid for my benefits.
Wow.
So they did all of that for me to be accepted. And then the other hospital that I was pursuing, or the other surgical center that I was pursuing, because I got hired at one surgical center, and the surgical center that I was pursuing ended up merging with the one that I was working at. So I work for the largest surgical center in Northern California. And it just proves that, you know, if you stay persistent and you stay determined, that you will accomplish your goal. And during the time that I was going through the program, people were saying, oh, she's not going to make it. She's not good. They were saying I was stupid and all this other kind of stuff. But I just ignored that.
I love it.
And now I'm at the point where I am actually asked to manage the OR when the manager is away. So
cool. So cool.
I don't like when people tell me I can't do something. I cannot stand that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Were you raised that way?
I prove them wrong. What's that?
Were you raised that way? Were your parents raising you? Or
that's just in me. That's just in me. I don't like when people tell me that I can't do something, and I will do everything to prove them wrong.
How, from your first no or your first denial, how long did it take to get the job?
I pursued for, I think a couple of years. I was doing it for 4 years, but I really got serious about it the last couple of years. I've worked for this surgical center for 4 years now.
So, but there was 2 years worth of denial and pretty much
rejection.
No, there were 4 years probably worth of denial.
Wow. Good
that
for
whole
you.
time I was being denied. Even when I got in, I was being told that, I mean, surgeons were saying, you know, she's stupid and she's not going to make it. I mean, you know.
Wow.
And it's very difficult. I mean, I don't mean to bring up the race thing, but I mean, I'm the only black nurse at this surgical center.
So I have from a
and
women's...
I get a lot of discouragement.
Right.
But it doesn't stop me.
I love it.
I think you get discouragement, but I think your story is giving others so much inspiration, because in anything in life, it usually doesn't come easy. It usually comes with rejection, and the key is just to keep going. And I just saw the movie The Hidden Figures, so as you're talking, it's making me think about the ladies in that movie and the education that she wanted that she couldn't get because she was a black woman, but she persisted, and she wound up being a woman who changed history. So you will change history.
If that's your dream, you should never stop pursuing it. If that's your dream, you should never stop. And I follow all of you guys on Twitter. And Terrell, I just want to encourage you to, you know, keep pursuing your dream, because you're going to make it. I believe in you, and I know that you're going to make it.
Thank you so much.
Did you have anyone in your corner? I know that you said that you didn't like people telling you no and saying that you couldn't make. Did you have someone that was actually like
supporting?
Yeah, supporting you.
I had God in my corner. That's who I had in my corner, and that's who told me that I was going to make it, and he closed many doors so that he could open a huge one for me.
Wow.
So even though, you know, you have these doors closed, there's always something better. That's why the door was closed, because I tried to get into one surgical center, and that surgical center ended up merging with the one that I was already hired at. So I know for a fact that, you know, he was working in my favor for me to have something better than what I was looking at or looking for.
Yeah.
Well, Maisha, thank you so much for your phone call. You are an inspiration. It's so wonderful to hear your story, and I want to thank you for being a valued DDJF listener. And thanks for calling in and sharing.
Thank you.
All right, take care of yourself. Keep us posted too.
Bye-bye.
I know you're probably trying.
I sure will.
You're going to be the first female president, so keep us posted with your progress.
I'll vote for you.
Take care, Maisha.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
It's a cool
That's
story.
great.
Very, very, very cool. You guys got
No, it speaks to determination, ambitious, never giving up, never quitting. I think everybody's going to go through failure or rejection, temporary.
But you know what's so interesting and so cool about her story is she was getting rejected from those that were already there.
Yeah.
So she was getting rejected by, I mean, she was overhearing people saying she's not cut out for it. She's going to give up soon. And what I think Maisha would probably use that as motivation instead of letting it discourage her to quit.
Well, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to have confidence, and you have to know your worth, your value, and you have to go for what you want in life. And I was thinking that back when the first caller called about her boyfriend not wanting her. In a way, I was going to say, but we moved on. In a way, it's a blessing, because if they can't appreciate you and accept you, and they can't see all your value and all your greatness now, why would you want to be with them? Because you're not going to get the full love that you deserve back. So obviously they're not for you, and that should be a good thing.
I'm going to call you Dr. Love.
Yeah,
That's pretty brilliant.
Well, I don't know why he got the title, but
Hey, a friend of mine once said to me, rejection is protection. And I think that's really insightful in anything. You know, you go to buy a house and you don't get it. You apply for jobs and you're rejected. You break up. But I think all of us have examples where later in life we look back and realize that, to your point, was such a blessing.
Yeah.
It's loss. It's a setback, and it's all about how you deal with that. You can get rejected and you can fold, you can quit, and you can refuse to try again.
Yeah.
You can give up, or you can take it. It could be a positive thing, and you can go for it and get something better. A lot of times you get something better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, this is Raisha from the Netherlands.
Hi, how are you? Now, this is your first time calling,
fine.
Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you on the show. What do you have for us?
I wanted to say about Valentine's Day and celebrating it as a single person, or at least how do you get through it as a single person. I believe that it's very important to just treat yourself. Just pamper yourself. Just do something fun just for you, basically.
I love it.
Because in the end, if you don't have love for yourself, then how are you going to eventually find love with someone else? So in the meantime, you just have to enjoy anything that life has to offer. Just grab it with both hands and just live your life. And with Valentine's Day, it's the same. Just maybe draw a bath, or just go shopping, or
make it a you day.
Buy yourself a box of chocolates, whatever.
Yeah, whatever's going to make you pamper yourself. It's a free you day is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Exactly. Because in the end, you have two choices. You could either sulk and be like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm single, oh, woe's me. Or you can say, hey, it is what it is, and I'm going to enjoy myself.
I love it.
That's a happy heart.
Yeah.
I love
what
it.
I wanted to say.
Thank you so much for your phone call. How am I saying your name again?
Raisha.
Let me try to spell this.
R-A-I.
Okay. J.
No. R-A. I.
Yeah.
S-H-A.
Taj, don't act like you would have known how to spell that.
I would have been closer than you. I don't know where you got J from.
I don't know where I got J from either. But Rasha, thank you so much for your phone call. And for all you listeners out there, take her advice. If you're alone, if you don't have a significant other to share it with, pamper yourself. Treat yourself to whatever you like. A box of chocolates, a movie, whatever. right?
That's one way.
I love it. I love
There
it.
you go.
I'm going to go on a shopping spree.
I love it. Okay, so again, phone number 323-203-0815, 323-203-0815. We're having 3 topics: how to get over a devastating loss, how to turn loss into love, and if you're single, how are you going to survive and make Valentine's Day a great day? So here's a phone call we have. Who do we have on the line?
Sequoia.
Sequoia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What do you have for us, Sequoia?
I wanted to touch on the how you rebound from a loss and about Valentine's Day.
Let's hear it.
Since I watched the entire Super Bowl, and I felt like at the end the Falcons kind of felt like they won already, so they kind of just stopped really playing. And I noticed in other games, the Patriots kind of do that to other teams, let them think they about to win. Then towards the end, that's when they fight back hard. And I kind of think to rebound from the loss, the people should at first acknowledge what went wrong in the first place, learn from it, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
I think
Great advice.
I think you're right on. And I think the Falcons are going to be better players dealing with this because they're not going to coast. They're not going to take plays off every single second. They're going to, and sometimes they're professional athletes, so they know this. But sometimes I think it's human nature sometimes to coast when you have to keep your foot completely on the pedal. So great point, Sequoia. Now, what do you got for us with Valentine's Day?
Well, I remember earlier in the show, Taj talked about how he was always in the friend zone, and that was me throughout middle school and high school because I'm the tomboy, so I always got along with the guys, and especially I could never really talk to my crush like in a romantic way, only as a friend. But I would express myself maybe like in a poem or I'll write a letter to them, but it always backfired. So I stopped doing that. And I just stayed the friend because I thought that was just safe for me. And for Valentine's Day, I've always been single for Valentine's Day. So it never really bothered me so much.
Okay.
Because I always say, well, as a single lady, I don't have to worry about buying expensive stuff or whatever for someone on a specific day, or have to show so much love for them on one day. And really this year, I'm just waiting for 50 Shades Darker to come out, really.
Well, there you go. I love that. When does that come? Is that this Friday?
I think so.
Yeah. I think it is. Cool. Well, you know what? I think you don't have any kids, right, Sequoia, or do you?
No.
No kids. Okay. Well, I think you've been doing it right. But because I like to save money too, and if you don't have to buy anyone anything, then that's a great thing, right? But I think you should pamper yourself this time. I think I like that advice from a previous caller. Maybe this time do something for you on Valentine's Day. That's my advice.
And I love what you did with the letters and the poems. Those are special things that people remember. And maybe at that age bracket it didn't stick, but different people communicate love differently. So I think those are great ways. Love letters, poems, songs. It's different for everybody.
Taj, Cheryl, you guys got anything?
No, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sequoia, thank you so much for always checking in and contributing, and we'll be thinking of you, and just be safe this week, okay?
Thanks for calling in.
Oh, and can I say hi to my squad on Twitter?
Sure. Yeah. Say hi. Who's your squad?
Hey, Tiffany, Emma, Alicia, Jen, and April. I love y'all.
That's sweet.
All right. You didn't forget anyone, right?
Yeah, you didn't forget anyone, right?
You'd be in trouble if you didn't.
Cool, Sequoia. Thank you so much. Kim, now you're single.
I am.
So what do you do? What are you going to be doing for Valentine's Day? Have you thought about it?
Actually, it's going to be very special this year.
Do you want to share, or is it a private special?
No.
It's a private special.
So, no. Actually, Valentine's Day is special to me. It was actually my due date, and I needed to cook a little bit longer, so I came out on the 25th. But I'm really blessed. I have a lot of great girlfriends, a lot of great guy friends, and I'm actually going to see Keith Urban and the Bee Gees in Los Angeles on Valentine's Day.
Nice. Where at?
Yep. Staples Center, I think.
Okay.
That's such a cool matchup.
That's what I thought.
Keith Urban and the Bee Gees, I would have never predicted them to be together. But I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And
I think it's awesome.
Fun for me because my mom and I loved the Bee Gees, and she knew how much I loved Keith Urban, so it'll be a great time.
Oh, that's great.
Had you had this date circled for a while? Like, did you know about it, or is this a recent find?
No, and it's really funny. When I moved to California, one of the things I lost, I went on a blind date when Keith Urban was first starting out. And I went with a girl that I knew. I couldn't find anyone else who liked country music. And she wound up having first row center stage tickets. So he threw out a guitar pick. And I got that, and I held on to it. And it's the only thing I lost in my move to California was that pick. So
are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
So you moved from St. Louis. So there's a guitar pick floating around in St. Louis that belongs to you.
Somewhere on the highway.
All right. Well, listeners, you hear that. Somewhere on the highway in St. Louis, if you see a Keith Urban, keep Miss Kim Went on your mind and send it to DDJF, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has a broken heart, but it's going to be restored on Valentine's Day as we go see them.
Yes. I've got a happy heart.
I love it. I love it. Taj, Terrell, you guys have anything planned for Valentine's Day?
It's a little too early for that.
A little too early? Taj?
We still have time, right?
Yeah, we have time. I have something on Twitter.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you had something planned.
Yeah.
I can't give away all my secrets.
All right. Dr. Love.
Myra asked, she says, I'm single now for a few years, and my Valentine's Day is spending time with my single friends going out watching a movie. So I think that's a good advice, too, to go out with your single friends.
I know it's Twitter, so we can't interact so easily, but is she giving you the perception that she does this every year, or is this the plan going forward? Do you know?
And she's been single for a few years, and I don't know if it's like
cool,
a tradition or whatever.
I love that.
I like that idea behind it because it's one of those holidays that if you are single, it really gets rubbed in your face.
Yeah.
So I think celebrating it with people that are in your same camp might be something fun.
Almost like everything. When you're going through something, if you
weird.
find a partner that can share in your feelings, you ought to quickly get better.
Yeah.
And I would assume Valentine's Day is no different. I don't know when the last Valentine's Day it's been a while since I've been single. But so I can't relate, but I love that advice.
That's great advice.
Share it with some friends. All right, we're going to take one more phone call before we have to wrap up. And who do we have on the line today?
Hi, it's Gigi calling.
Gigi, of course. We had to end with you, Gigi. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good to hear your voice.
I don't want to cut anyone off. I usually do that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It's nice to hear Kim is there. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Gigi. That's my grandma's name.
I don't know her, but I remember her from the previous show in the past show. I remember her story, but anyway.
Nice.
I just wanted to say, as a single woman, how I get through Valentine's Day or handle it or whatever word you want to use is I just focus on my children and my family and my friends, and I usually get them like a little gift goodie bag with candy and stuff like that. So I'm still loving and I get love back. So
I love
it's okay that I'm not with someone, but that's how I get through it, and it makes me happy that they're happy. And we usually have pizza because that's my favorite food, and so I'm looking forward to that. But
I love it. I love it. No, that's cool because that's what kids do. I'm putting together little packs for my girls for their whole classroom. No, so I'm saying they share it, but they usually do something for the whole class.
Right.
And then I guess when you become a teenager or a young adult, you're supposed to narrow it down to one person, but who says? What's wrong with sharing that love? So very cool.
So that's what I do, and just think about lovely things, and honestly, that's what I try to do. Make it like a loving thoughts.
Spread the love.
Stuff like that. And then that's what you do.
Cool.
Right?
Well,
so I love you guys, and I'll be thinking about you guys.
We love you too,
Valentine's
Gigi,
Day.
and thank you again for all your support. You're a huge supporter of us in the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation, so we just want to thank you. I know, Gigi.
Love you guys.
I know. Well, thank you so much, and be safe, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So cute.
So I think that's pretty much it. I think we talked about how to turn a momentum loss into a positive. And we got some quotes from Dr. King as well as some Oprah information on how to turn just a simple loss into, well, not a simple, but a loss into a love. I didn't know that Stanford came from a loss of a child, which is, actually Stanford's probably my favorite university, so now it's definitely my favorite.
Really?
And then we also learned some tips from Valentine's Day if you're alone, if you're single.
We brought Dr. Love out of retirement.
We brought Dr. Love out of retirement.
He's back.
Till what, Todd?
Till next year.
Till next year. I don't know. We'll see. But we do want to say a big thank you to everyone. A big thank you to Kim for joining us. You're the best, Kim. And if you want to learn more about DDJF, Todd, you want to give the website?
Yeah, it's www.ddjf. DDJF.
I gave you one assignment.
I know. That's the first time I flubbed it, too.
I'll do it.
Because I usually go
the website, www.ddjf.org.
Cool.
Usually I go down the handles.
And
that's why.
We are here every Wednesday from 1 to... We are here every Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you found our program helpful and can afford to do so, please go to DDJF and support the foundation. Any donation amount helps us support those in need. It helps us continue programs like this, and we just want to thank everyone. It's a beautiful life, a beautiful day, and make it the best you can, right?
Spread love.
Yep. Spread love.
Have a happy heart.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Take care.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am TJ Jackson, and I am with my brother Terrell Jackson.
Hello, everyone.
And Taj Jackson.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing well.
So, first of all, we'll do our disclaimer before we talk about our guests, because we have a great guest in, so we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to even talk to you guys about your weeks, because...
Understandable.
But we are live on the Power of Love show. Actually, we're not live. This is pre-recorded, but so I shouldn't have said that. But it's still an amazing episode, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. But we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives, and we've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. And we want to share our opinions in an attempt to help you overcome what you are going through. Saying that, if you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and find it, to not just rely on us. And today we have someone who is a clinical psychologist, is a pastor and founder of Stephen Ministries, and in talking to him for the last 15-20 minutes, he's a great mind on this topic of grief that I know my brothers could agree with me, is that it's kind of it's a tough topic to discuss, but a tough topic to grasp and understand. We have with us Dr. Kenneth Houck, all the way from Missouri.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to be here. Good to see you.
Great voice, too.
Yes.
Great voice. I wish I had a voice like that. I really do. But you're from Indiana.
I am from Indiana.
Like my father.
Yes.
Yeah, so Dr. Ken asked where we are from, and when I said we were from L.A., he looked a little disappointed. Because we're not from the... what's the state? The Indiana? What's the what state? Isn't
what
there,
is Indiana?
Yeah. The Hoosier State.
The Hoosier State. There you go.
Yes.
But we visit every now and then, every
Okay.
year, and it is a wonderful state.
Yeah. And when you think of Indiana, you think of basketball.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. A lot of great basketball players came. I don't know if they still are, but I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
I'm sure they are. But you've written so many books, so many great books, and I was just telling you a little earlier, as our listeners know, when we lost our mother, I was just 16, and I was such a big avid reader that I was so disappointed on the book selections that were out there. And I remember, I got a lot of my resources and information from books, and there was really not much out there. And when you came in with all these books that you presented to us, just the titles alone would have grabbed me. And I first of all want to thank you for providing that resource to those who are dealing with loss and grief. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So before we get into some of the book titles and some of the questions we have about them, I guess what is the biggest obstacle for those who are just dealing with the grief or dealing with the loss? What would be your go-to advice, short answer advice for someone who's dealing with some type of loss?
I think the main obstacle is not thinking that what you're feeling is normal. If you believe that what you are feeling is normal, it's going to go a long way. I think people when they lose somebody and when they're having all these kinds of feelings, they think or ask, "What's wrong with me? I'm abnormal." I guess what I want to say is to the great majority of people who lose a loved one and have all sorts of feelings coming from all over the place, and you have feelings that you got different feelings. You got feelings bouncing off walls. You got different feelings. You might have a feeling of sadness bouncing off a wall, and a feeling of anger is bouncing off another wall, and they're colliding in the middle. And I guess what I would say to people is, when you have these kinds of feelings, when you lose a loved one, you're normal, it's typical, and it's okay. And it's also healthy to have those feelings.
So is it right to assume that sometimes society kind of, I don't want to say punishes, but labels you or tries to conform you back into a certain normality?
Oh, yeah. Everybody. I think, it depends on who you lose, but I think society sometimes say, well, you've got about 3 weeks, and why aren't you feeling better after 3 weeks? And sometimes society will tell you, or people will say, you need to move on with your life. And I want to say, that's probably been said in the history of the world billions of times, and I think probably never has that statement been received warmly by anybody. I don't know. Did anybody ever say to you guys, you need to move on with your life?
So what does Dr. Ken say to someone who is grieving, someone who's struggling? They just lost everything from their favorite pet to, a parent got seriously injured, or any serious trauma that a person who's struggling. What would you say? What's the right thing? What's the best way to help them?
Yeah. And could I do something real here?
Please. Yeah, please.
I mean, you guys lost your mom in 1994. And I guess I want to say, and I'm not just doing this because, it's the thing to do, but I just want to say to you guys, I'm really sorry you lost your mom. I mean, that's horrible to lose a mom.
And you know what, real quick, it's as I get older, it's different. I don't want to say different waves, but different things make me feel the loss of my mom.
Right.
I remember when I first had my kids, then the wave of my kids don't have a grandmother, or I don't have that parent that I trust with advice to help me through this.
Yeah.
And even recently, it's like, I'm in the process of moving, and to have an extra eyes on my family or help with my kids would be so welcoming right now that I don't have,
Yes.
It's just constant. You're dealing with the loss of our mom, and it's really starting to, I don't want to say really started to register, but I'm really feeling it in different ways I never would have predicted I'd feel it in.
Yeah, yeah. So you asked, what do you say to somebody who's grieving? I think the first thing when you see them, you say hi. The second thing you say, it's good to see you. The third thing, maybe this is a toss-up. The third thing, maybe you could say, I'm sorry. I am so sorry you lost whoever you lost. And then what's the fourth thing? You hug them. And you may hug them for a long time. And then you say, and I am sorry. I really am sorry. And that's all you can say. Mm-hmm. There is nothing that you can say that's magical that's going to help them feel better. But what's kind of interesting is when you do say you're sorry and you hug them, and maybe you might even cry a little bit too, that people sometimes feel better. Mm-hmm. But the thing of it is they tend not to feel better when you're trying to force them into feeling better. Mm-hmm. I know teenagers are oftentimes said, you need to be strong. Wow. I don't think anybody's ever received that well. Mm-hmm. You're not feeling strong. Mm-hmm. You're feeling weak, and it's okay. You should feel weak. Yeah.
And I love that advice, because as I've said, and my brothers are probably sick of me saying this, and he already knows where I'm saying it, but the single most important hug I ever received was from my Uncle Jermaine right after my mother passed. Maybe 4 hours after I found out. Once we got released from the hospital and came back home, he gave me a hug that was very, what you were saying reminded me of what he did. He just said, I'm sorry, and gave me a hug, and a long hug. And that was pretty much it. It was no long talk, no long anything. It's just that hug. And I always say it's the single most important hug I've ever received. And from that moment, I felt like I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's painful, it hurts, but I'll survive this. Because before that hug, I was nothing, and that hug was the first bit of life I had received. And it was a hug, and it was a simple word from my Uncle Jermaine. I would have never predicted it coming from him. Mm-hmm. It could have been anyone. It could have been anyone in my family or friends, but he was the first one there, and the way he hugged me so tight, it was so powerful for me. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for that advice.
Yeah, yeah.
What kinds of emotional challenges are most frequent for those who experience grief?
Oh, wow. Sadness, I think, is a big one. Just really, you just feel rotten. Fear is another one. What am I going to do? Because I've lost this person probably provided a certain amount of security for you. What am I going to do? I am scared. I remember I'm actually a little bit shy. My wife wasn't. So we'd go to church, and we'd go to the coffee hour. And, you get coffee and you stand around and you talk to people. I would follow her around. She would be very outgoing and talk to people, and I'd just kind of follow her around and just stand there. And then I would talk, kind of one talk too. Now, when I go to events like this, I don't have Joan around to be my lead person. And I've worked on it, and I can do it, but it's not easy. So you lose all these things, and not only do you lose the person, you have a lot of secondary losses. I mean, you lose somebody who you can co-parent with. I bet when you lost your mom, your dad was like he was a single parent.
Yeah.
And you might have asked him for advice, and he tried his best to give you good advice, but there's nothing better than to have a partner to run some ideas by, and then you come up with a suggestion. So, yeah, that is tough. And I remember for about 6 months after I lost my wife, my daughter Amity was living at home. She was just finishing up college, and I remember one time I was sitting in the living room, and she was up on the 3rd floor in a bedroom way up there, and I just started crying, and I was crying audibly. I mean, I was really crying very loud, and Amity came down, and she said, "Dad, I heard you crying," and I said, "Yeah, I was," and that was so cool. And here, I'll tell you this too is the more I have been able to cry in my life, because I'm a guy, the healthier I am. You know?
Yeah, we talked about that about 3 weeks ago, about that same thing about guys crying and how, for me, society's made it seem acceptable, but it really is freeing, and it's important to do as a guy as well.
Yeah, can you speak on that a little bit?
Well, Terrell's the one that would always apologize for crying. When my mom passed and we talk about it, we always call him the more emotional one, but I always told him, like, I'm happy. You have something that, like, I toughened up when my mom passed. I was the older brother, so in my head was my mom saying, "Be strong for your brothers. Be strong for your brothers. You're the man of the house." So I had to play that role. So I didn't have the same emotion. I had the same emotions, but I couldn't show it the same way. While he was different, and I always admired him for being able to cry and all that. And so that's what we were talking about in terms of guys crying and that acceptance.
What are your thoughts on that?
You mean on guys crying?
Yeah, I just want our listeners to hear your thoughts.
I think it is really cool, and I think 99% of the time when guys cry, it is the right thing to do. It does not demonstrate weakness. I think one of the ways to demonstrate strength is to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, you see this now a lot more on TV when sports teams lose. I mean, you work your tail off and you almost won the NBA and you lost it. I mean, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Or you lose the World Series or whatever it is. So if it's sad, cry.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I don't think any of these people who cried, even on television or whatever it is, were so incapacitated that they didn't function. They were able to go in and shower and get their clothes on and put a tie on if that's the way they're supposed to dress and get on the plane and fly back or whatever. I think crying is really good for anybody, and as long as you keep functioning. I've got a friend who just retired. He was a commercial airline pilot, and his dad died, and he was still a pilot at that time. And I said to him, Dale, cry anytime. Just it's really good to cry, except when you're at work.
Yeah. We're here talking with Dr. Ken Houck, and he is from Stephen Ministries. Please do yourself a favor. Check out the website. It's www.stephen, STEPHEN, Ministries, MINISTRIES.org. Please do yourself a favor. There's so many great books. There's so many great resources for you, for our listeners who are dealing with grief. And one of the things, there's several books of yours that I want to talk about, but the first one I want to start with is Journeying Through Grief, which is it's a 4-set, correct?
Yes.
So it's 4 small, easy to read books.
Yes.
Let me ask you this real quick. Why 4 books and not just one?
Okay. First of all, these books are about 40 pages long each, and they're pretty large print. They are designed to be sent to grieving people 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and 11 months after a loved one passes. One reason why it's 4 is it's easier to read a 40-page book than a 160-page book. But the other reason it's like that is that we researched what people were going through at 3 weeks after the loss of a loved one. And so we spoke to them as if, they spoke to them as a 3-week survivor, a 3-week griever. Same thing with 3 months, same thing with 6 months and 11 months. For example, at 11 months, you're starting to think about the 1-year anniversary of the loss of your loved one. So we have material in there. We speak to the 1-year anniversary. And we also communicate in that book that just because the 1-year anniversary hits doesn't mean that you're over with grief. You still can feel a lot.
Interesting.
Now, the 4 books, I'm going to try to list them in the proper order. The first one, A Time to Grieve.
Okay.
The second one, Experiencing Grief. The third one, Finding Hope and Healing. And the fourth one, Rebuilding and Remembering. My question to you is there, I know they're all important, they're a series, but is there one that you just feel, if you're going to read one, don't miss this?
Wow. Well, if you've just lost a loved one in the past few weeks, then the first one.
Okay.
I often find it's very interesting is that you lose somebody and you read a book at 3 weeks, in 3 months, and 6 months. At the 6-month period is the time when a lot of people hit the wall.
Why?
I don't know. And so we wrote this book as if people are hitting the wall. I don't know. It's 6 months ago and you're still feeling bad. I remember it was very interesting. I got 2 telephone calls from 2 friends. Tom Shaner, a friend of mine from high school, and he called me and he says, Ken, I know it's 6 months since you lost Joan. I just want to call and find out how you're doing. Wow. And I told him how I was doing.
So that phone call was an important phone call for you.
It was. I remember that. You get a lot of phone calls right after you lose somebody. If you really want to be cool, and if you want somebody to really remember you, call them right away. But wait 6 months and call them at 6 months, and they're going to say, wow, that was really significant.
I love that. I love that advice.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you would do, Taj.
Yeah.
Just did you do that with a friend that had passed?
Yeah, because I remember that for me, you remember all the people that they're in the way beginning, but then it kind of dies off, and that's the thing. Then there are certain people that come back and say, how are you doing now? And those are the people that I really remember in terms of when I was grieving. And so I make it a point when my friends have a loss is to check up on them. Yeah, check up on them. And not only for that first year, but also just see how they're doing. So
all 4 books, to short answer, all 4 books are incredibly important.
Yeah. This is great, though. Like, I wish this...
right, Taj?
I was introduced to this when Mom passed, because it would have been super helpful. I remember the books that were offered to me, the Who Moved My Cheese or whatever.
That's not from 1994, was it back then?
Yeah.
Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah, it was.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Lisa Jones was the one that gave me that book, and it was helpful to a point, but it didn't.
Isn't that a business book?
It's more about dealing with change, and so that for me, I identified with it a little, but it was not about grief, and
I think that's a business book too, Taj. Well, maybe for all types of change.
Maybe for you it was a business book.
Yeah, I did read a lot of business books. Okay, so we've talked about what to do to help someone who's grieving. What do you not do, or what's the wrong thing to say to someone who's grieving?
Okay. let me just say one of the things, try not to say, and I say it. I remember the first time I visited a funeral home after my wife died. A father of a good friend, or actually her husband I work with, her dad died, and he was like 92, and he was in failing health for the last 2 years, and so I went to the funeral home, and the first thing I said to my colleague David Papp, I said, "How are you?" or "How you doing?" And I immediately said, "Oh no, I shouldn't have said that." He said, "That's okay." He said, "I'm doing okay." Dad, or whatever he called him, is he had a great life, and we're feeling all right now. But I'd say try not to say how you doing, because, and by the way, I did this another time too, but if you try to avoid that, and if you say it, maybe even say, "Oh no, I shouldn't have asked that question. I'm sorry."
Address it.
But I would say, I should have said to David and Pat, my friends, and Heidi, their daughter, "It's good to see you. It's good to see you." And then just wait. You don't have to fill it in with a lot of words, a lot of bad things to say.
Right. I think that's excellent. I really do, because, again, back to my hug with Uncle John, I don't even remember the conversation. And I think there wasn't really a conversation. I think it was a lot of silence, and a lot of times silence can speak volumes. It's a pretty cool quote.
Yeah.
But I just think a lot of times that there's, just the presence, and just that if you can connect emotionally to let them know you're there, I think that's the thing. You gonna say something?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. Well, so the 4 books, Journeying Through Grief, I love how you did it. It's something that I would definitely wish I could have done. I love how the fact that they're 4 short books, how the writing's big. I love how you did that. So thank you for doing that, because one big book may have turned a lot of people off. But do yourself a favor, go get the 4 short books and listen to Dr. Ken. Read them at the appropriate times. Don't just go through them.
Yeah, I have a question. Were they all written together? Was it one big book and then you cut it up into 4, or?
We started out writing 4 books, but we wrote them at the same time.
Okay, so in your mind you always wanted 4 different, and the time they were all written at the same time.
Yeah, they were. Yes.
So another book, again, www.stephenministries.org, and that's Stephen PH. Stephen, STEPHENMINISTRIES.org. Another book that caught my eye was Don't Sing Songs to a Heavy Heart. How to relate to those who are suffering. We talked about what to say, kind of what not to say. But what you said, that book was more for caregivers, for family. So explain what that book is about.
It's basically it's subtitled "How to Relate to Those Who Are Suffering," and what do you say when you talk to somebody who's just been divorced or has just found out that they've diagnosed with a very serious illness? What do you say to them? And this is a book for caregivers. I like to say it's the book that people should read before they visit somebody in the hospital.
So it's a book you should have the knowledge of before something even happens.
Yeah, I think so. And I think also things you can say to your kids too.
Right.
Let's say your kid gets cut from a sports team. You say to them, "I'm really sorry. I am really sorry. Darn it. I wish you could have made that team." You don't say, "Well, look, you play other sports and just think you're a straight A student and whatever it is." All you'd say to your kid is, "I'm sorry. I wish so much that I wish you could have made that team."
So what is the reasoning for? Because I think a lot of our listeners, especially who tend to be female, would probably try to quote unquote encourage by. I don't want to say encourage, maybe that's the wrong word, but would try to
soften the blow
by saying exactly what you said. You're really good at this sport, or this coach doesn't know what they're missing out on, or whatever the reason. What is your reasoning for not doing that and just to basically say, "I'm sorry"?
Because they're hurting. They're hurting, and if you, it's glossing over it. You try to soften the blow. You can't soften the blow. They've got to experience the entire blow fully. And I remember I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan, and I remember in 2013, and they lost the World Series, and I was really sad, and I was sad for about a week after that. And people would ask me, "How you doing, Ken?" And I said, "I'm doing fine. I'm going to work, but I'm really sad about the St. Louis Cardinals losing the World Series." And here's what a lot of people said to me. They said, "Well, there's always next year." I said, "Yeah, but that is next April. It's now November." Or they say, "They gave it a good try." Yes, but they didn't win. Or making it to the World Series is good in itself. Yes, it is. But they lost, and I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
I ran into, a couple of weeks ago, Clemson played University of Alabama in the football final, the championship, the college football championship. And I ran into somebody. He was actually in one of our training events. Ran into him in a restaurant, and he's from Alabama, I think, or he was an Alabama fan. And I told him, I said, I'm really sorry about that. I said, are you feeling depressed? And he said, yeah. I said, and then I told him about my St. Louis Cardinals story. He said, thank you. He said, that makes me feel better. Giving him permission to feel depressed makes him feel less depressed.
Wow.
So don't try to cheer people up or say, it was so close. And I don't know if you guys watched that game.
Oh, no, yeah. It was a great game.
Alabama lost in the last second, almost.
So where's the line? Because what if I were to say to them, you should have won that game? That's a little bit too harsh, or you guys had it? Or at what point do you, it's such a... Well, no, I mean, because I want to be... what I'm getting from Dr. Ken is to be open, is to let them know it's okay to lose. But at what point do you, go overboard? You're not following me?
What I'm getting is that it's okay to feel sad and being depressed, and instead, oftentimes what people do is they try to steer you away from your emotions. And what you need to do is allow them to feel that pain, to feel that loss, instead of trying to cover it up and make them feel better, because they're going to deal with it either way. Is that pretty
you
much?
betcha. Then after you do that, after you've said you're sorry, after they've talked about their feelings, and then you could say to them, by the way, I was really pulling for you. And, by the way, I think you had the better team. But darn it, I'm sorry you lost. Then you can say that again.
So you really have to connect with them and understand their pain and allow them to feel that way.
Yeah. And don't worry about next year. Don't worry about playing in the pros or anything like that.
Don't soften the blow.
Don't soften the blow. Let the blow happen.
Yeah.
My grandson tried out for basketball. He played basketball 7th and 8th grade. Got to high school, tried out. He got cut, and he was sad. And I said, I'm sorry about that. And actually, he should have hustled more. And he said that. I should have hustled more. And I said to him, yeah, you probably should have. And that's all right. But I said, but I'm still sad that you didn't make it, because I really wanted you to make it.
So, and that's what I'm trying to get to. The grandson said, I should have hustled more. And Dr. Ken said, yeah, you probably should have, but, I'm sorry.
Right. Or Michael Jordan, you don't say, so Michael Jordan didn't make the high school team.
Right.
That doesn't help.
But at what point does Dr. Ken beat the grandson to the punch and say, could you have hustled more? Do you ever pull that out of the one who's hurting, or do you let them control the whole conversation?
I'd say you let them control the entire conversation and follow their lead. Now, 3 weeks or 3 months later, when he and I are out fishing, and we're talking about life, and maybe we're talking about him applying for something or trying another sport, and I said, I remember we were talking that you didn't hustle as much as you could have for basketball. And he said, yeah, I feel bad about that. I said, well, you're going to be trying out now for water polo. Do you think maybe you learned from that experience? And he would say probably, yeah, Grandpa, I did. And what you got to say, your program is the power of love. You say, Caleb, I love you very much, but I want you to play water polo because I think it's fun to watch, and I want to come watch you play.
Yeah, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah,
that's great. You guys have anything? Any questions?
That makes sense to me.
Taj?
I do have a question. This is about the 4 books.
Yeah.
Small. You have such a great voice. Do you have audio books of this, or have you thought about doing an audio version of it?
I don't. Yeah, we've had that question asked of us, and I don't know what we may have an audio version.
Okay.
I don't know that. I should know the answer to that question.
Just because it's so important, and we like to read, like the three of us, and so a book would have been great. But I know there's people that don't.
You're softening the blow. You're trying to say that the next generation is not.
I'm not going to put the next generation on blast, but I'm saying that there's a lot of people that don't like to read that,
or maybe they don't have the time.
Yeah,
because audiobooks seem to be faster.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Because you do have the voice for it, and it's so important that the knowledge in here. And so I would just say that might be something that would be super helpful to hear, because it also reinforces it's another thing.
Some people are auditory learners too.
I learned through hearing.
Okay.
I think if we would do this now, come to think of it, we wouldn't just put it on one disc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We put it on 4
Mm-hmm.
so that the friend or relative or whoever it is sends them, so you get 4 touches during the first year after you lose somebody.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what are some common misconceptions people have about grief?
That it progresses in a kind of a linear, kind of a straight line function. It gets better and better as time goes on. And actually, grief bounces all over the place. You might be feeling great one day and rotten the next day, great 1 minute and rotten the next minute. It's all over the place, and you're bouncing all over. I think that's one conception. I think another is that you should get over it faster. After all, it was only your grandparent, and your grandparent was 80 years old or 90 years old. You need to move on. I think a misconception is that people supposedly should move on, and the more you want somebody to move on, the less they're going to move on. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most? What would you say is the most important for a person to know after losing a loved one? The most important thing.
That they have other people around them who love them and care for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can be that kind of a person to love them and care for them, I think that that's the greatest thing. People who are there for you. That I think is really important to know. And I think another is that you're gonna be okay. You're not feeling okay right now, and maybe you don't believe that you're going to be okay. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. But I've seen other people been in situations like you, and of course you're unique, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to be okay. Down the line.
Now, some of our listeners, they call in with their situations that are very sad, and one obstacle that. One way we try to help, because we've all talked about the importance of having a support group, of having family and friends, and how much that helped us.
Mm-hmm.
What would you advise to someone who is dealing with a loss of whatever kind, that's really somewhat isolated? They don't have family nearby. They, for whatever reason, they don't have
the support
system.
What
we've been telling them is they just have to find some type of community of people that are going through similar things and create, in a way, their support system, but to not do it on their own. Is that kind of...
Yeah, I'd say you could join a club, join a church. What I did a couple months after my wife died is I started playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I hadn't played basketball for like 20 years, and I started playing. I've been playing now ever since that time. And that basketball group became a community for me. Mm-hmm. And, I joined a gang of 11, which is, now I'm 12 in that group, and consisting of some of the basketball players. So get out and don't just sit in your own little hole, And I did that a lot, too. I remember there was a time when I would come home from work on a Friday, and except for going to church and talking to people in the grocery store, I didn't see another person the whole weekend. Mm-hmm.
Why do we do that?
Yeah,
that's what you're gonna ask.
Yep.
Why do we do
so
that?
You can identify with that.
Yeah, go ahead, Terrell.
No. I was gonna ask the same thing TJ was. Why is it that we isolate ourselves?
Oh, maybe we're shy. maybe we just don't have the energy.
I also think maybe we know we're not in our best form, so we retreat. Maybe. We know something's wrong, and I think humans always want to show their best foot, so maybe we kind of retreat.
Or maybe the vulnerability of it, being always wanting to be in control and be strong, but you're vulnerable, so you don't want to go out there.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important thing for a friend of a grieving person to know?
To listen, and listen some more. And don't try to fix it. Don't try to encourage them. You can encourage them by being their friend, just being with them. If let's say they like fishing, you say, hey, you want to go fishing? Take them fishing. And if they say, I don't know, you say, look, I don't have anybody to go fishing with. I really need you to go fishing with me. And take them fishing. I'd say just, reach out to them and don't try to encourage them. Don't try to make them feel better. Just by relating to them, they're going to feel better.
That's great.
It is great.
Cheryl?
No, I was, is grief the same? Is there different types of grief? Different levels, maybe I should say?
Yeah, there are different types. I think if you know somebody is sick and you can prepare for it, that's one thing. But in the sense of sudden deaths, that's, I think people call that that's complex grief, because that's very complex, because you didn't have any time to prepare for it. And also that it shouldn't have happened. When you guys lost your mom, that shouldn't have happened, and it happened right away. So when it's like that, if the person has not been sick, that can cause a lot of problems. And I think when teenagers, for example, lose loved ones, very often, more than anybody, they lose people suddenly. And they had no idea that people were going to be, they were going to die. Automobile accidents or whatever, these things like this. Whereas when you're older, your friends die of more natural causes. But when you're younger, they don't.
Yeah. What do you advise families who have young ones that are dealing with the loss? What do you advise the families to do to support the young ones?
Again, listen to them and get them to talk. And if they say, I'm really sad, and you say, I'm sad too. And if they start to cry, just hold them. And maybe cry too. The one thing that you got to be careful with younger kids is if you as an adult are just totally losing it and falling apart, you might want to hold that together for a little bit and then go find some fellow adults that you can fall apart with. Try not to fall apart around small kids, because that can scare kids.
Is there an age where you should shield them from it, or every case different?
I think every case is different, but I think I think they need to be part of the whole process from the beginning.
We're with Dr. Ken Houck, and again, obviously you've been listening. He's an amazing resource, an amazing mind, and a great treat for us here. For more information on him, you can go to www.stephenministries.org. There are so many great books that I'm sure you could find something that's going to help you, and I'm really impressed. Dr. Ken, I think I'm really proud you're here, and I thank you.
Thank you.
But before I let you go, though, you have a new book called Cancer Now What? Is that correct? So, and then you have the same website to learn about cancer. If you're dealing with cancer, which I think all of us at one point are going to deal with it in some way, whether it's ourselves or a loved one or friend, check out www.cancernowwhat.org. And this is a new book of yours. This one released just a month ago? Is that correct?
Yes.
Just a month ago. So what is Cancer Now What about?
It is a guidebook for people who have been diagnosed with cancer or for their loved ones, family members, or whatever it is, to read to help them navigate the cancer journey. About a third of the book has to do with medical things, like how to relate to medical people, pain management, second opinions, things like that. The other 2/3 are emotional, relational, and spiritual aspects. So
one of the bullet points is updating others without wearing yourself out.
Yeah.
My son had his appendix rupture, a little different thing, and I was in the hospital, and it was actually a very scary thing because his recovery was different. It wasn't a smooth recovery. But obviously with my brothers, family, and friends, everyone was invested in wanting to know. And I actually found myself kind of getting worn out in the updating process, So it's like, is there anything you would advise or in terms of the updating?
Yes. Get somebody else to update for you. Ask a friend. Tell a friend and saying, these are the people I want you to update. Would you please do that for me?
And I don't know why I never thought of that. I don't know why I never thought about that, but that makes sense.
Many times we don't think of things that are so obvious. So you're like that too.
It's so funny because that never crossed my mind, and that's a very good advice. So thank you.
Yeah.
Because I had everyone asking, "How can I help? How can I help?" I don't know. I'll keep you posted, but that's a perfect way to ask for help. I'll tell you what's going on, and you tell this person, this person, this person. And thank you.
Yeah.
Now, how about not letting cancer define you?
Yeah. Wow. Live your life as fully as you can. It's easy to say, don't let cancer define you. But I found my wife had cancer for three and a half years, and then she died. But during those 3.5 years, we took, I think, 23 overnight trips as a family. We went to Disney World a number of times during that. We went to Disneyland during that time. We took 3 cruises during that time. We went to Kansas City. We went to Branson, Missouri, where we could drive, because sometimes people with cancer shouldn't be on airplanes, and with all the stuff in the air there, they shouldn't get infected. So we drove. We went to Branson a number of times.
I love that.
Yeah,
you lived life. You went for it. And you guys have anything?
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm loving this.
And then one more question: what should someone do if they didn't have the chance to grieve a loss from many years ago?
Grieve it now. Talk to somebody. Cry. Find somebody who will understand that maybe somebody is still grieving 20 years later, and get them to talk about it. What would be? Go ahead, Terrell.
No, I had a question.
This is my brother, so I know he doesn't say anything, but when he moves his body, that usually means I got something to say.
I did have something. What happens if you don't deal with grief?
Yeah. One thing, you probably should deal with it as soon as you can. But grief is like something, you put it up on a shelf. And if you put grief up on a shelf, and then you take it down later, it's bigger. It's really, and I know you all created this foundation, because of your own struggles in terms of grief, but it's never too late to grieve, never too late to talk about it. And here's something, I was going to say this before, but I do want to say this. I bet you really like it when people say the name Dee Dee Jackson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you might even want to tell your friends, don't forget about my mom. How about every month, why don't you just say, I remember when I was over at your house, and I remember what your mom did, and she did this, and everything like that. And I mean, I love it when people say the name Joan, which was my wife's name. It's so cool.
And I thank you for saying that, because I think what's so strange, I completely agree with you. My son goes to the school we went to where our mother was president of the Parents Association. So a lot of the teachers were there teaching us, are there teaching my son. And every now and then they'll come up to me and tell me a story or show me a picture, and there's no better feeling. So I completely agree with you. And what's so strange, though, I don't follow that. I don't reciprocate that to others. You know what I mean? Who may have lost a parent, or it's like for me, it's so. I want to get over this. It's like a no-go zone.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if that's society's work on me. I don't know why I do that, but I want to be able to be happy and express people's what I'm perceiving as their bad, their loss or their trauma point.
Are you saying like if someone experiences loss, you don't feel like you should bring them up?
In a way, like if a friend of mine experienced the loss of a father.
You don't want to bring up the father. I'm with you on that.
And it's so...
I don't know why.
But when it's the other way around, they bring up mom, I'm smiling and I'm enjoying it, like you said. So I don't know why I can't follow through and pay it forward.
Yeah. Maybe it's a matter of discipline.
Yeah.
It's almost like writing it down, saying, I should do this. Sometimes we got to write things down, and sometimes we have to discipline ourselves. Because we don't ordinarily do them. Mm-hmm. We forget doing them.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we're with Dr. Ken. We're going to wrap up our show. Dr. Ken Houck, you are an amazing person.
Thank you.
I'm laughing at you because sometimes people would say it to us and I'd have that same response. It's like, I don't know why you're saying that. But you really are, you know, and you're really helping so many people. And for people like us who've dealt with loss, serious loss as youngsters, and like my brothers and I always talk about, every time we do the show, we feel better about ourselves. You know, we feel better getting it out and talking, and today's no different, perhaps more so than ever, from what you said and what you gave to us. So I thank you very, very much. Taj, was there anything?
No, I'm loving this. I think these books should be mandatory for everyone.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Well, and then, I know we're on time, but why doesn't society do a good enough job dealing with loss? It's like we celebrate winners, we celebrate the trophy winners, we celebrate champions.
It should almost be a class. It should almost be mandatory, a class in school.
It's because loss is part of life, but we like skirt away from it.
Yeah, it is. And I think when appropriate, if you can cry more when it's appropriate, I think you're going to laugh more at other appropriate times.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
So before we close, Dr. Ken, www.stephenministries.org. We like to give our guests 30 seconds or whatever to say whatever they want. Say whatever's on your mind, whatever you want our listeners to take away, anything you want to say, you got the floor for a good 20, 30 seconds.
Okay. I guess I would say, what do you say to somebody who has just been diagnosed with a serious illness or lost somebody? I just like to repeat what I said. First thing you say to him is, it's good to see you. Second thing you do is maybe hug them, or that might be the third thing, but after saying it's good to see you, just say, I'm sorry.
That's it.
All right?
Great. That's it.
I love that.
Thank you so much, and you are listening to the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation's Power of Love. We will be back next Wednesday from 1 to 2. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to shine light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. I am TJ Jackson, and I am here with two brothers, Terrell Jackson.
What's up, everyone?
And Taj Jackson.
Hello.
And a board member. She's smiling and laughing at me, but we have Kim Wendt here as well.
Hi.
How's everyone doing?
What's going on?
Everything good?
Everything's great.
Yeah? Anything exciting this week?
This week
that you want to share?
Well, a lot of birthdays this week.
Yeah. Yes, two.
Yeah, I think in within almost 7 days. We got Prince, Bryce, Adrian, and BG.
I was just saying Adrian and Bryce, but you're right.
Those two.
So what is that? 8 days? 13th to the 21st.
8 days.
4 birthdays. 4 Jackson birthdays. Anything else, Terrell?
The rain has just been horrible. Still haven't practiced with my baseball team.
You drafted them about 3 weeks ago?
I feel bad for Adrian's team. I've seen them one time. I got to learn their names again. But they pushed opening day back, so that's good.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Because of the rain?
Yeah. Nobody's practiced.
When's
but I think
opening
because
day?
of the rain, it's supposed to be this weekend.
Oh, okay. I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, we've practiced, my big kids, we've practiced on the field one time.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we've been together, I think, maybe a little bit over a month.
Okay.
But
cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Todd Jackson, anything?
I got sick, so I'm still sick. So
you are.
You sound like it.
I don't handle sick well.
You don't sound like Dr. Love anymore.
No. Dr. Love needs a doctor.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I'm very impressed with Taj because you've been good with your steps.
Yeah, I've been.
So you guys are doing a step challenge.
Well, we don't challenge. We just encourage each other. Me and a couple of other friends, and I'm happy that Taj joined in on it.
Is he participating?
He's actually doing
so this
a
is
lot
like with
better
the,
than I thought.
Like with a Fitbit?
Yeah, with the Fitbit.
And you just pretty much, it counts your steps for you.
Yeah.
All right. Todd, you like it?
I do. I love it. But
as long as
my body reacts when I exercise, so it's probably punishing
Todd,
me.
I've always respected you, but this is where you always lose me.
Why?
You cannot be allergic to exercise. Right? Is that the claim, or
no,
is it
allergic to sweating?
I'm allergic to the gym. That's what I'm not allergic to exercise.
sweating.
I'm allergic to the gym.
You go into convulsions.
Gym is just not where I should be. I'll play sports all day, but
It's
the
healthy,
gym is.
though.
I hear you.
It's healthy.
I love it though. And Kim, how was your week?
It was good.
Anything
exciting?
Yeah.
So kind of cool because I have a birthday this weekend too, and
Yay.
I just decided I'm going to treat myself and get the Fitbit.
All right. Yeah,
Join
there
in
you
the
go.
steps.
There you go.
Got to.
I love it.
Nice.
You guys are the Fitbit trio.
Trying. How was your weekend, T?
It was good.
Yeah?
Hectic but good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
or
trying
week,
to.
I should say.
I'm trying to think what we did. Well, I know Francis and I escaped out of town at Calistoga, which was amazing.
Nice.
Which is up north in California, and it was just really amazing.
Now there's wine tasting and stuff?
Yeah, but that's not my thing.
Okay, I know. So did you try it? I know, that's what I was going to ask.
I tried a bit, but they all taste the
you
same
can't
to me.
appreciate it,
Not
right?
at all. No, I can't tell the difference between a $9 bottle and a $900 bottle. So
no.
that's not my thing. But the relaxation and the quiet and the beauty, that's my thing. So it's really beautiful up there. It was really cool.
Did
it was
Francis
really
have fun?
Oh yeah, we had a good time. It was great time.
Cool.
So Kim came up with this show idea that I thought was awesome, and it's Black History Month, and we have the Oscars on Sunday. So Kim came up with the idea. Kim, have you seen the movie Hidden Figures?
I have twice.
Yeah, twice. So we're talking about the movie Hidden Figures. I've seen it once. I thought it was great, phenomenal. Kim, you saw it twice. But Kim came up with the idea of doing a show basically with the Hidden Figures theme, and basically what hidden figures, quote unquote hidden figures, have been a big figure in your life, in your personal life, whether that's someone that came around and supported you through any type of loss. From it could be a school mentor, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. So it's kind of a shout out to those people. So I think what we should do is, I think we all should talk about a hidden figure. I think that we have multiple ones, but I have one in particular that I thought deserved a shout out and to express and explain how they helped me during a troubled time. But I think this could be a show about that, and I think we should open up the phone lines, which are 323-203-0815. Again, it's 323-203-0815. And we want to hear from you on who's been a huge hidden figure in your life and who's supported you and helped you rebound.
Does it have to be about loss, though? Could it be just in terms of inspiring you or giving you hope?
I think so. I mean, we could open it that way.
Because I have someone in mind, but it wasn't during a time of loss. It was more of it taught me something that I still use today.
Yeah, I think that could be cool.
All right.
So that sounds good to me. So does anyone want to start with the hidden figure that impacted their personal life?
Todd, you want to start?
I'll start, yeah. I've already mentioned, I think, this before, but for me, there was a teacher that came to Buckley I think it was in 11th grade, and this was his first year teaching, and he was he taught very different than other teachers did. You know, I was taught at school just basically to memorize the book.
Are you talking about Doctor?
Yes. And I would just kind of regurgitate facts. And this teacher came, and he basically said, you have to think for yourself. And his name was Dr. Holbeck. And he taught me to question everything that I read, and that people have prejudices, and whoever the author is, do research on them and see what kind of agenda they want to portray. And it really taught me a lot because of what our family was going through at the same time, but it also made me question things. And to this day, like, when I read something or see something in the news, I always try and say, okay, what are they trying to get across? Is this true or not? And I try and find different sources. And I don't think that's done enough. I think people just accept what they see or what they hear.
Okay.
That's why there's a lot of fake news going around.
So you're shout out to Dr. Holbeck.
Did you have him, TJ? Dr. Holbeck?
I did not.
You would remember.
You would remember.
Okay, so I did not.
But it was just, he got, I don't want to say he got in trouble from Buckley from it, but he was just it taught me to really think for myself. Yeah.
It made you think.
And not just accept what was given to me.
So your shout out to your hidden figures for Dr. Holbeck, who helped you kind of think.
Yeah, to be awake. Yeah, to think. To actually not just be a sheep and be like, oh, I'm going to just take what people tell me.
Okay.
I could piggyback a little bit off of that.
Is yours relating to loss or just a hidden shout out?
Mine's it can relate to loss.
Let's hear it.
No, this hidden figure what is it? Can it be?
It could be anyone.
Anyone?
Yeah.
I'd have to say Brenda.
Okay, good.
I gotta give love to Brenda.
Beautiful.
Brenda who?
Brenda Ritchie.
Yeah, you have to.
Why are you so far back from your mic?
Because I'm sick and I'm relaxing now. I already talked.
This is ridiculous.
What do you want me to do? You want me to
I got brothers who've been around microphones their whole life, and this guy's literally 4 feet from his mic.
You want me breathing in the mic?
Okay, go ahead, Terrell.
I'm giving a shout out to Brenda Ritchie.
That's well deserved.
Very well deserved. Best friends with Mom, and obviously when my mom passed, everything was crazy. It was all over the place, and Brenda was someone that really helped me get through a very, very difficult time, and I still talk to her, still close today. You know, at such a sad and down and negative moment, I can look back and I can see that there was sacrifice made on her part. We would play backgammon every single night. She taught me how to play. I didn't even know how to play, but she told me that was one of Mom's favorite games, and she taught me how to play. And she taught me so well that I became better than her, even though she'll argue that I'm not. But
that's great.
But yeah, we would go back and forth. And Barry Gordy, I think she said Barry Gordy taught her how to play back, because Commodores and the Jacksons at Motown and everything. So we go way back with them.
That is so cool.
But yeah, she was huge for me. And she was someone I can talk to, someone still that I talk to. And I don't think I would get through that time period without her.
And Brenda, to me, first of all, I agree with you, because I think Brenda was I think that's a perfect hidden figure for you, and she was that hidden figure for me as well. I don't think to your extent. My situation was a bit different, but for you was I would say it's definitely Brenda. She was awesome. Was there anything in particular? Like any particular, what was it about her? Was she very upbeat? Was she very? She was available. What was it?
She was available. She was, and you guys can agree. Anything that we needed.
Yeah.
Anything, people say it all the time. Anything you want or need, give me a call. I'm here. Brenda was really there, for all of us. But yeah, it was just her being there. I can talk. She would share stories about Mom, all kinds of things, So. It was a difficult time for her as well. But she stepped up and she was there for me. So I thank her for that.
Oh, well done. Kim's staring at Terrell with a smile.
No, it's such a sweet story.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, going through her own loss with her mom, that she had the strength to step in and help you guys and knew how to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's a real art. I think my hidden figure is actually, he was my grandmother's gardener, but he really became part of our family. He was an African American guy. He had 10 kids and raised them all on a gardener's salary. His 2 grandchildren were in my class, grade school, but he stepped in during a time where my dad couldn't be present. It was actually when he was going through a conviction and sentence. So he really helped my mom from an emotional standpoint and with the discipline for my brother and I, because she was just on overload. But his common sense, he didn't have a college degree, but as my mom said, he was just off the charts in parenting and common sense, really.
How many kids?
10.
And a gardener. And he still was a huge figure in your life.
Oh, absolutely. And my brother's.
That's amazing.
And he had diabetes, pretty severe. So, just at a young age, understanding what disease can do and kind of learning, like, if he looked faint, we were taught to go get him orange juice or hard candy. And he was just
he's like part of the family, it seems like.
Yeah, just a solid guy who my mom could always call, and he always just knew the right things to say to my brother and I. My brother was really hyperactive, and my mom's fix for him when he was acting up was go out in the garden with JD, and JD would, put him to work in the compost pile or just whatever he could to burn that nervous energy. And then when I was in high school, I didn't have a great understanding of where my mom was, so I was, struggling to fit in and just kind of a bratty teenager. And he read me the riot act. And
really?
Yeah, he got tough. And he explained, like, your mom's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and this isn't all about you, which is a good lesson for every,
How old were you, Kim? Do you remember? Or around?
When my dad was gone, I was 10. But then it even got more difficult probably when I was like 13 in middle school. And that's when I remember the talk. And he finally got through to me.
Wow.
So I am so indebted to him because I think he saved me a lot of guilt later on from the way I was acting towards my mom.
What was it about that talk that you think punched through for you?
I think that he was able to explain what was happening to my mom in a way that no one else had been able to, and he was just straight. I mean, he just told it like it was and called me on the carpet where I needed to be. My mom had tried, but, we just had personality conflict, so having that man figure when my dad wasn't around is really what I needed.
Yeah.
I think also the fact that it came from, I'm not going to even say it. I think the fact that it came from a source that you weren't expecting.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably got your attention as well.
Well, and he kind of blindsided me. I had no idea it was coming.
I think that's great, though.
Absolutely.
I think that's part of the effectiveness of it.
It was like the shock factor.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it.
So he was a special guy.
Cool.
That's great.
So for me, I've always said that obviously mom's loss was incredibly difficult for me, but the divorce was I don't want to say equally tough, but that was something that was really hard for me to overcome. And I would say, after mom's passing, I would say it was probably Brenda. There was a bunch of people. There's, Drew's mom, my friend's moms, Kim's mom, and Anthony's mom in particular, and Brenda. But I'm going to talk about after a divorce, because for me, one of the hardest things was seeing my parents, who the two people I love the most, fighting or not be together. And my hidden figure would be Bill.
All right.
Yeah, would be Bill, which at the time was, I guess, mom's friend. But maybe, as a kid, you think it's mom's friend. But
Bill.
It hurts me that I can't find him. Like, I can't find him on Facebook or anything.
Really?
But he's been on my mind a lot.
I can find him.
You got to give me his number, because I got to call him and go out and eat and thank him. But he was someone who just really brought life back into me in a way that I don't think he realized it. It was always fun. We'd go play basketball, go get powdered donuts, listening to MC Light in the back of a
Chunky
Jeep.
Monkey,
Nice.
Ben and Jerry's.
Exactly. And there's so many like vivid memories. And as you guys know, I'm one without the best memory, but there's so many vivid memories that I have from him that, and my mother never married him, so it wasn't like my step parent, but he was someone that really stepped up. It's the easiest way to say it. He really stepped up.
Yeah, he did.
And so that would be my hidden fear, because he pretty much brought life back into me, but I didn't even realize it at the time. He just kind of kept me constantly. I mean, obviously, as my brothers and I all know, our uncle and our father and our grandmother played a huge role, but he's someone that we never mentioned that, for me in particular, really helped. I think you guys were already in college, where I was still in high school, and loving sports, so he really embraced me and really helped me.
Did he have his own kids?
Terrell, do you want to answer that? Because you're older. I know he adopted.
Yeah.
I think he had one daughter, that was, and then a young daughter, and then he adopted two boys. He's adopted two boys. So Bill's someone that has a huge heart, and just a special guy, And I haven't talked to him in probably over. It's been a long time, almost I would say 10 years or so. And, he still comes in and out of my mind. And I think it's a good lesson for people, is that no matter where you're at or what position you are, we've had a friend, we've had a boyfriend, we've had even a gardener and a teacher. So no matter what you're doing and what your profession is, you can make a huge impact in someone's life. And as that famous quote is, you don't know what people are going through. You're not walking in their shoes. So I think it's really cool to be that person who can make a positive impact in someone's life by just being a good person yourself.
I love it. And that's what Taj said a couple weeks ago. He said you don't have to be famous to be important in someone's life.
Yeah. So let's take this phone call. Who are we talking to?
Hi, this is Ashley from Pennsylvania.
How are you, Ashley?
Hey, Ashley.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. What you got for us, Ashley?
Well, I have a hidden figure in my life who helped me along, but hold on one second.
You beat me to it. You're gonna turn it down a bit, Ashley?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry. It's my mother's mother.
So grandma.
Yeah, my grandma. I call her Nanny because it's an Italian thing.
Yeah.
But she actually passed away when I was 4, but even at that young age, like, I don't have a lot of memories of her, but I'm sorry if I cry.
Aww.
but I did feel her love, and I knew that she loved me and was always there for me. Even at that young age, I could feel that.
Wow.
And yeah, she just I just remember, and my mom's name is Frances, and I look like my mom, so she'd call, like, my nan would call for me, or she'd call out for Frankie, because that was her nickname for her mom and me. And then my mom would go into the room, and she's like, "No, I mean little Frankie." And yeah, she was just always very loving and supportive, and even though I was only 4 when she passed.
And that's amazing, to be so young when you lost her, and for her to still have this, I shouldn't say still, but to have this deep of an impact in your life is really cool.
Yeah.
That tells us she was a special person.
What was your favorite memory of her?
I lost all my grandparents by the time I was 9, so.
Wow.
But
Kim asked, what was your favorite memory of her, Ashley?
Well, I don't have a lot because I was only 4, but I just remember I remember one day that she just asked me to pray with her, and and we just sat down and she held one of my hands, and we just bowed our heads and started praying, and it just made me feel loved and really good, and just connected with her a lot, even at that young of an age.
I love it.
Do you still pray?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you still pray?
Yes, I do. I pray every day. I miss her every day, but she still has an impact on me. She impacted my life so much, and I miss her and I love her, but she'd be one of my greatest hidden figures.
That's so great.
What a great story.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for the phone call.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Man.
That's cool. And I think that speaks about how you don't need 10 years to be a hidden figure. I mean, Ashley was 4 when she lost her grandmother, so she probably got really just a couple years, maybe even 1 to remember, but that love you can feel, and that's really cool. I love that story.
That's a great story.
All right, we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have? It would help if I answered it. Who do we have on the line?
Yeah, hello. I'm Toya. I'm calling you from France.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good, and you?
Good.
We're doing great.
Good to hear from you.
I wanted to talk about the topic of the day, the hidden figure that helped me go through bad times.
Yeah.
And I shall say that you guys, you are the one that helped me the most. I think actually since last year and until right now, I'm going through the worst time of my life, with my divorce and everything.
Yeah.
And everything that you are doing, your show, your music, and your sweet answers on Twitter, just help me to keep the faith and to stay positive and help me go through all this. So I really mean it, and you are the nicest person I've ever met.
Oh,
that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
That's so sweet of you.
No, I mean it. Maybe you won't understand, but you do have a huge impact on my life, and I'm sure on many people. So I'm really, really, really thankful to you guys, because I don't know where I would be if you wouldn't have been there last year. So I love you so much.
Well, we love you too. We love you too, and
hang in there.
That's just, I mean, that phone call is from France too, and it's just, I think when we do things, whether it's music or Dee Dee Jackson Foundation stuff, it's to know that you could touch people and impact them in a positive way is special. So that phone call meant a lot to me, my brothers, Kim, and all of our board members, because it is a lot of work to do this, but it make the payoff is there when we hear your voice. And I think the one thing I want to say is just hang in there, because all tough moments do pass. You just got to stay strong, find your support system, find your comfort, find your strength, and get through it.
I also just want to say, especially with the fans, we get a lot of strength from you guys as well. So it's
very true.
It's very reciprocal in that way. So we constantly thank you for everything that you do for us, and that it keeps us going. So we're happy to give you some strength, and you guys give us strength as well.
Yeah, I've said it many times before with the Brotherhood tour. After losing Mom, the fans, that big void, they filled it. Yeah. And they really, really helped us get through a lot, just beyond the tour.
It's cool because I don't think they realize it, and I don't think we realize it. So it's just a mutual love and respect that can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the phone?
This is Sequoia.
Sequoia, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. You sound tired or down today? Everything okay?
I'm a little down.
What's going on?
I'm trying so hard not to cry because today is my grandmother's birthday. She would have been 82. And it's just like really hard not to cry, and I really want to talk about her.
What was it like? What were your good memories about your grandma? You know, obviously she touched you in many ways, but before you say that, do you have a funny memory of your grandma that makes you laugh?
I remember my family always had these cookouts every single year, and my mom and her sisters would sing this song called Good Times, but then all the grandchildren would start singing it and was being really silly with it. And she was laughing about it, and we had said, Grandma, you know your grandkids is, y'all, we crazy, right? It's like, I love y'all anyway.
Yeah. Aww. That's great. Yeah.
What did you learn from your grandma? Are there things that she taught you that when you do them make you think about her?
She taught me a lot, especially about loving people, no matter who they are, what they do, just loving them, being there for them, especially helping them. Like when she used to live in the projects, and especially in a really bad area, and her back door was always open. She would always cook, especially for like the drug addicts, the drug dealers, the even homeless people. She would let them come in her house, eat. She would talk to them and pray with them. And she definitely taught me how to be strong and independent. Like, she raised 7 kids when her husband left. The youngest was 6 years old. Wow. But she didn't let that stop her from living her life or taking care of her kids. She was like a self-employed maid. She was a missionary and also the pastor's assistant. She did so much. At her funeral, it was so many people there. It was like so packed. The people who was influenced by her and who she had touched. Wow. And it's like she just inspired me to just care for people, and that's why I got into massage therapy, because I get to help people too.
Yeah,
that's great.
Where do you work?
Excuse me?
Are you a massage therapist now?
I'm in school for it right now, but I'm like actually working on people, and people say I help them a lot.
That's great. That's great.
So, Corey, it seems like your grandmother was one of a kind. One thing I would say to you is let the tears out. You know, I know you're trying to be strong, but let them out. You know, and it's all love. And you know, just keep her in great memories, and just do what she taught, because she seems like she was amazing. And that's pretty much it. That's from all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing her with us.
And be strong, Sequoia, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care of yourself. She's always so supportive of us too. Yeah. So, normally she answers really, or she calls upbeat. So she was a little down today, but I think maybe the topic touched home. You know,
definitely.
Wow. It's hard. It's tough. And for those of you who are calling in, being brave, it's a lot of respect to you guys. You know, I realize, I think you guys always say it, but I never really gave them a shout out, because I'm just used to being in this position as you guys are. But it is a fear.
Yeah.
It is a fear. And to share your personal story, and we all appreciate it.
Even you, Kim.
Yeah.
You've spoken about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to it.
Yeah.
Well, and I love what she said about, I think so many people in today's world are afraid to help drug addicts or, you know, go into the bad neighborhoods, and I understand that fear, but her grandma just having faith and continuing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure touched a lot of lives.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Who do we have on the... Oh, I just lost her. I had her, but I think she gave up. So she'll probably call right back. What else were you going to say?
Awesome.
Did I cut you off, Kim?
Oh, I was just going to say, because it was her grandmother's birthday, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think those are death anniversaries, birthdays. They're tough days, but what's helped me is just to kind of figure out, instead of being sad, like, what did I gain from knowing that person and what can I give back? Because I think when we give back to others, it distracts our pain.
I feel like it heals the pain, to be honest, I think it really helps.
I agree.
I've felt better since we've been doing all this, the radio shows and the Boys and Girls Club and the other things we do. Mm-hmm. So I think giving heals. Well, we have our caller back. So who do we have on the line?
Hi, my name is Meredith.
Is it Meredith?
Yeah.
How are you, Meredith?
I'm fine. Hi, guys. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Meredith. Hey, Meredith.
What you got for us, Meredith?
Actually, I like your subject today. Actually, I thought about it real hard, and I said, I think the thing that really changed me here recently, I work with children with special needs, and when you work with children with special needs, you realize that they really can make you feel good. I mean, once I started working with them, this was something I never thought I would do. I actually found, like, my purpose. I can't believe how much I love it, especially the one in particular group I work with are children who suffer with autism. And to know that I work certain days of the week, that they even notice the days that I'm not there and the days that I come there, and to realize that I'm there to help them, but I feel like sometimes they're helping me, because when I'm not there, I actually miss not being there. So I think that would be my hidden figure, because sometimes that's actually the most discriminated group out there are people who suffer with a disability. So that would be my hidden figure.
That's incredible. And I would bet a lot that you are their hidden figure. And first of all, I commend you so much. Anyone who's in the giving industry and helping people, and especially those who are helping, special needs, it's you guys don't get as much love and respect as you should. So,
and I could
go ahead. Yes,
I
please.
was just going to say, my mom, who I lost, was a special ed teacher, and she worked with orthopedically handicapped and mentally retarded kids. And I think that experience, I think she did it for about 5 years before I was born, but it really molded her capacity for unconditional love and acceptance of others. So I think it'll be a great experience for you throughout your life, because we just learn so much from the innocence of kids, and especially those with disabilities. So thank you for all your work.
And Meredith, how long have you been doing it?
Actually, I graduated with my bachelor's in May, and I started doing this in October, and I'm actually going to be continuing school to become a psychiatrist. That was going to be my next question. I'm going to school out there. And I wanted to ask you guys while I have you on here, is the weather better yet? Because I know you guys have all that rain.
The weather is better, and I think it's supposed to rain Sunday and Monday. I think.
Okay.
Which is very
good. I'll be there Monday.
It's very unlike Southern California. Normally we get 1 or 2 storms a year, it seems like, and the rest is, raining for 5 minutes and it's done for the day. But it seems like every other weekend, or once every other week, we get a huge storm, and we're supposed to get another little one Sunday and Monday.
Okay, well, I'm going to schedule my travel around because I'm driving, so I got to schedule it around.
I love it.
Thanks, you guys, for taking my call.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Take care of yourself. And again, these people who
unbelievable.
And the theme that I'm learning that I didn't think about before, but it seems like a lot of time it's reciprocated. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like your hidden figure. Like Todd, you mentioned the fans and us. We have Meredith and the kids, And I think it's, I'm starting to think that way. Even I forgot her name, but was it Ashley who called about the grandmother? But I bet you for the grandmother, when she was 3-4 years old, that was a huge piece of her life. So
and being able to give to others.
I think it's all about connection.
Yeah.
It's all about connection and giving, and it can uplift your own life.
Sure can.
I can say from when we did the Valentine's show, some of the callers that had, just different techniques of how they were getting through the day. I shared that with some of my friends, and it helped tremendously. So I had a friend who bought herself flowers, and those were all just wisdom from the callers. So thank you for all your insights.
Agreed. With that in mind, Taja, I'll go to you. You're the oldest. You call yourself Dr. Love. With that in mind, why doesn't society do a better job? Why don't we as a whole do a better job of giving? If it seems to me like giving is an approach to even fulfill yourself more and to give yourself even more purpose. Why is it? What's your opinion on why giving isn't done more?
I try not to rant because
we're not doing Taja's rant.
Yeah, we're not doing a rant, but I think what we put up in pedestals and what we glorify is the opposite of that. It's what you have, and
you're saying we as a society celebrate what we have.
Yes, your worth is based on how much you make or as opposed to what you've done. And I think that's once that has to change before anything changes. We don't celebrate the Mother Teresa's anymore like we should. It's all about who has the biggest bank account and how much do they have, and that person is celebrated. And usually they get that bank account by being stingy and not giving. The people that have the most money aren't even donating, percentages to charity or to
But I'm going to counter that because I'm going to say the people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg.
They're rarities, though.
What it is,
if you think of all the billionaires, you can name probably one or two.
Can I add to it, though?
Yes.
I think a lot of them do. I just think we as a society don't think they're sexy enough. So we don't know about, they're not all over our news. They're not in our. If we had all of our Today stars giving, I think society would do it more.
So you're saying the ones that are like entertainers are not giving enough?
I mean, I don't want to say that, but in a way, that's who's covered every day, and we see all over social media or on the news. We see what if Bill Gates broke his arm today, we wouldn't know. We probably wouldn't know. But if one of 20 different teen celebs or 20-something celebs broke their arm, we'd know within probably an hour. And I think until that changes, or either who we focus on as society, or those people start showing more giving and more love, then I think we're going to be having this uphill battle.
I think sometimes they don't publicize it. Some of the most generous people I think are really private in how they give, so maybe we're just not hearing about it.
That could be too. That's a very good point. I think the younger, I hate to say the younger generation because it makes me sound snobby.
You are old.
But the younger generation is just it's not.
Well, can that get fixed?
It has to be. There has to be role models like there were for us. Like we had role models. We had people that we respected that were giving.
Yeah. All right. This is just not a good luck day because someone called and I answered it and I lost it and now I gotta wait.
I see a pattern happening here.
I know it's my fault, right?
Yes. You can be replaced. I just want to know. Terrell's next in line over there.
I'm ready to go.
He's been watching those buttons. He could be sitting right where he's at.
Terrell, did you want to chime in at all about what Todd just pointed?
Well, real quick, the movie.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen the movie.
Why not,
Terrell?
Terrell?
Why not, Terrell?
Why do I feel like you have it?
Taj.
You saw it because of me.
Well, remember? Not because of you, but I do remember you said you
I
saw
gave
it
a thumbs up, and then you went to go difficult. See it. That's what
I haven't
you told
seen
me.
A movie in a long time.
Really?
You gotta do that.
Movies are good escapes.
It's hard.
It's a very important movie to see, Terrell.
It
just
really
because.
is.
Yeah.
I
is
had
this
no
in theaters
idea.
Or is it?
It's in theaters.
Did I miss it?
No.
No.
You can still go see it. It's nominated for many Oscars, too.
Yeah.
So check it out.
All
All right, so I got the phone call back. Who do we have on the line? Hello?
T.
Yes.
It's Bill.
Assalamu alaikum.
Is this Bill?
Who is this? The kid?
Hey, it is Bill. How are you, Bill?
How's everything going?
Hey, man. Bill, we're doing a live show.
You're live right now.
You're live right now, so
Okay. All right.
You shouldn't start with that.
But we're doing our show on the topic Hidden Figures, and people that played a huge role in people's lives, and kind of did it in a hidden way. And I feel you are definitely my hidden figure, Bill. So
TJ.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, and I've been looking for you on Facebook, but I can't find you. But I got to get your number. I see it on the screen, so I'm going to write it down. But I just want to give you a big thanks, Bill, because
there's a lot of great memories with Bill.
Oh man,
basketball.
A whole bunch of great memories.
Yeah,
I used to play basketball 1-on-1 with Bill, and I'd have on a white T-shirt, and I would always back him in because I do with my sky hook, and he would have his hand on my back, and by the end of the game he was laughing, and I was like, "What's so funny?" He told me to take my shirt off, and I looked at my shirt. You see his fingerprints all over my back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna add something because I've noticed. What's so cool, Bill? I don't know, maybe 14 or 13 to 15 when you were so big in my life, and I've noticed that even now I still think about so many great memories. Mm-hmm. I don't even have a good memory, but I vividly remember eating powdered donuts in the back of the Jeep, and freezing and hearing MC Light. And
poor G. George.
Right. Those are the days.
Or Old Dirty Bastard. What is that song?
Which one?
I get nightmares on my own. What's that song?
Oh, the Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys. Yeah, Ghetto Boys.
Right.
But I was at a Buckley basketball game a couple weeks ago and thinking. First of all, I miss those days, but I was just thinking of the jump I made as a basketball player from my freshman to sophomore year, and I'm thinking, like, are these kids going to get much better than theirs? And I'm thinking, well, if they want to, they better have a Bill. You know what I mean? Because he would take me to UCLA, and we'd go there on school nights, and I learned so much. And I don't know, Bill, you just played a huge role, and I got to thank you, man. And I truly love you, Bill.
All right,
TJ. Oh man, those are the best of times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
For all of us, Bill.
Oh,
yeah.
TJ, man, like I said, I enjoyed that so much. Once you get those memories, they can, once you have a good memory, it lasts a lifetime.
You guys need to get back together.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I am. Bill, I got your number, so I'm going to call you. And,
okay, TJ.
And I can't wait to see you, man, and we'll go eat and catch up, okay?
We'll hang out.
All right. I love you so much, Bill.
Okay?
All right, man.
Take care, love you, TJ.
I love you too, man. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. That made my day. That made my day.
Yeah, I still had same number.
Bill did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a little speechless because I've been trying to connect, and then my life is busy, so I'll forget, and then a week, and then something else will come up, or a month, and something will come, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get in touch with him.
And what are the chances that he's available
at
this very moment to call?
Yeah. So unbelievable. I'm a little shell shocked right now, so you guys gotta.
You don't mind that, right?
No, not at all.
That's good. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Very good. So many memories.
I told you, I'm shell shocked, so I'm a little lost. I can't drive right now.
All right.
We might have to have Bill on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
That's a good point.
Definitely.
That's a good point.
He's in Sacramento right now, though.
Does he live there?
He's coming back.
Okay.
He said he was coming back. He lives there.
Okay.
But he's coming back down to visit.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
how those memories are so vivid.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many.
So
There's a lot,
specific.
too.
So many memories.
There's a lot, you know?
And just the laughter. Like, I think during that time to have that laughter
Wow.
is just irreplaceable.
Oh, man, Bill.
All right, we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
It's Toya again. We've
Hi.
been cut off.
Yes. How are you? Do you have more to add for us?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question, about your disclaimer saying that you're not licensed therapist and if we need help, we should find professional.
Yeah, thank you for saying it. Because we forgot.
I got one question for you guys. I don't know if you mentioned it before or if you mind talking about that, but when you lost your mom, did you go to see a therapist, and was it really helpful for you? And if yes, how did that help you?
Good question. We did not.
We didn't really know.
We did not. I don't really know why. And for me, TJ talking, I don't. Go ahead, Tara. I'll let you talk first.
We didn't see a therapist. I don't know why either. But we spent a lot of time with our uncle. He was in New York recording.
Mm-hmm.
It was, what was it, the History album? History album. We spent a lot of time with him. And we were actually in the middle of our album recording. And that was, I think, keeping busy was one of the things that we did. We just focused on completing the album because it was our mom was a big part in our career. And, when she passed, we were halfway done. And my brothers and I, we wanted to finish it for her. And we worked hard. We just stayed focused, and that was our main goal. That's all we wanted to do at the moment. And we didn't really have time, I don't think, to think about things. And when we did, we were with our uncle or we were with grandma or our father. But we kept busy. And I don't think, for me, I don't think it really hit me really hard until after the Brotherhood tour. Because once the album was completed, then it came out, and then we were on the road, and then we toured. And
so you're just saying keeping busy.
Yeah, we kept busy. Yeah. And like we said earlier, the fans were that void for us. And then when we came back from the tour, I think that's when it slowly started to hit me.
I saw it there.
Yeah, and you always think that you have the chance to have a strong support system throughout your family, right?
Yeah, yeah. Kim, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just, I saw a therapist, and I think, 20 years, when was your mom? How long has she been gone?
It's been 21, 22?
Yeah.
23.
Going to be 23, right?
Since 90. Yeah, going to be 23.
I don't know that back then therapy was maybe as mainstream or as advanced, but I know like through the different bereavement programs, they have some excellent grief counselors that can be really helpful. So grief's such an individual journey, but I think therapy can play a big role for people.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I think for me, TJ, my dog was huge too.
Aww.
That's another hidden figure.
Yeah. They're always
to be
there.
honest, I don't know. I can't remember if I had conversations, but
with the dog,
you know what I mean.
I love it.
Yabo knew a lot.
No judging with the dog.
No conversations, but at least I was able to say and talk and feel some love. And I think we've had even a show. We have had a pet show. Yeah. But the dog, Yabo, was huge for me. And I assume, Taj, you're the same way, right? So although I didn't have a traditional therapist, I probably had an equally strong one for a lot cheaper, just some kibble and bits, and that was the payment.
A few vet bills.
Yeah. but
it's a good point because I'm asking this question because there are so many professionals, like psychologists, psychoanalysts, couple therapists. There are so many, and I think it really depends on what you need at that moment. Is it just someone to then can listen to you and that can talk to you, or so I think it depends on what you're going through, right?
I think you just got to get it out.
Yeah.
I think you got to get it out, and I think sometimes you don't even. I think it's the theme of many of our shows. Just being there. Just be there for someone, and even if you're not saying anything, just be there for if it's a friend or a family member that's lost someone. Just be there. You know, and it could be a dog, it could be a plant, it could be a lot of things that can help give you that therapy that you need.
I think we've really seen too in the music therapy classes, just some of the kids that maybe weren't able to open up any other way, but during that process it brought things to the surface, and I've seen the boys be able to counsel the kids, you know, at those moments. So it is just about being there.
Yeah. Well,
so guys, I thank you for being there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And the name again, I don't want to say it wrong. It's Toria?
Yes, Toria
Awesome.
from France.
Thank you so much.
you, Toria.
And thanks for all your support.
Oh, no, you're welcome. And really, really, thank you so much for your answers on Twitter, because it keeps me going and to stay positive and things. So thank you so much, TJ.
You're welcome. Stay strong, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Bye.
It's cool.
Yeah.
You guys have anything? We gotta wrap it up because we're under a minute.
That was a good topic. Good show.
Good show,
Thanks,
right?
Kim.
Yeah,
Sure.
great. Thanks for the idea, Kim.
Girl power.
Girl power, I love it. So that's pretty much it. Taj, you look like you were gonna say something.
We have a birthday shout out from one of our listeners.
yes.
Emma.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Emma.
Happy birthday,
She's in
Emma.
Amsterdam, so just wanted to say that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that's it. I think we're going to wrap it up. We're here live every Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you found our program helpful and can afford to do it, please go to DDJF and support the foundation. Any donation amount helps us support those in need. That's pretty much it. We love you guys, and stay strong and enjoy
Have a great
next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Enjoy the Oscars too.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.